See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Tallawah TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Shout Out the Messenger, and you're watching Tallawah TV with the host and best. So Davis, take it away.
My Tallawahs, good evening. Possibly a good morning, or depends on where you're based in the world. It is officially quarter to 12 here in London. So I am patiently, steadily heading towards that dreaded Monday morning. Let me know how your weekend has been. I can kind of guess how it's been. I bet you've been celebrating at least for today. Maybe not once, but possibly twice, celebrating sweet victory where the reggae girls are concerned. The banner read for itself, doesn't it? If you don't want to read the banner, I'll go ahead and read it for you. It says reggae girls end their season on a high. So clearly, I'm not talking about one reggae girl. I'm talking about a few reggae girls who have completed their season, this current campaign on a high. We still have a couple more reggae girls playing football for their respective clubs elsewhere in the world, and I'll keep my eyes on those games for you again within their respective clubs and their league. Before I get started, I know a few of you are watching this game here at Wembley. You definitely know how that one ended. If you don't know how that one ended, it ended with Drew Spence's Chelsea coming out on top as the FA Cup champions, the women's FA Cup champions, that is, and that was at the expense of Khadija Bunny Shaw and Manchester City. What a game! A record breaking attendance there of over 49,000, all packed into Wembley Stadium. Incredible, incredible match. Let me know how you guys are doing there in the comment section. Just Scott is going for Manchester City. You wanted Manchester City to win? For me personally, I don't really mind whether it's Manchester City or Chelsea. Like I said, today was the Reggae Girls FA Cup derby because either way, we would have been smiling as the 12th man, given that we have a Reggae Girl playing for either Chelsea or Manchester City. Reggae girls on either side in today's FA Cup final. Good evening to you guys. Before I continue, you guys there in the comment section, I'm going to keep this one relatively short and sweet. I know I usually go on for well more than sometimes I need to, well over 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours, but not taking it that far tonight. I'm only going to be here with you guys for 45 minutes because I still have plenty of work to get through before I can close my eyes tonight. So I'm tired. I am absolutely tired. Like I said, I've got work to do after this live stream. So I'm going to wrap that up and then get myself off to bed. Good evening to yourself. I hope your Sunday's treating you well. 3-2. Someone was watching the game from Wembley, weren't they? Let me know your thoughts on the game. In case you're wondering, what is 3-2? 3-2 is the full-time scoreline there in Chelsea's 3-2 victory over Manchester City. And that one went into extra time. If you was watching from Wembley or watching in the comfort of your own home, what a game. Gripping game. End-to-end stuff from minute one all the way through to the extra time. Dare I say I wanted penalties? Thinking this one could go down to penalties. I don't mind penalties since we have come so far. Clock is going for Chelsea all the way. Well, congratulations to yourself and Drew Spence. You are this year's Women's FA Cup champions. That's back-to-back FA Cup victories for those of you who are wondering. Chelsea have retained their FA Cup title. Drew Spence, big Drew Spence. She did it at the expense of her compatriot, Bunny Shaw. JT was saying I was in the stadium. I'm surprised how much people came out. Yeah, like I said, over 49,000 people packed that Wembley Stadium today, all in support of Chelsea and Manchester City. You and me both. I was eagerly, I was hoping and praying that Bonnie would put her name on the score sheet. But, she managed to get an assist for the equalizer, that is, in the first 45. So Not too disappointed for Bonnie. Happy for her. Happy for a big occasion, huge game. Showed up. She left that pitch with her head held high despite coming runners up. It's not a bad team to lose to, is it? Chelsea, two stellar football teams going head to head. They're two of the best teams in the world, not just in women's football here in England, but also across the globe. Two heavyweights going head to head with each other. I felt like Bunny should have been a little more selfish and should have scored. You're asking someone to do something that they're not really used to. It's not really in her locker to be a selfish player. But let's remind ourselves that she was up against one of the toughest opponents. Again, not just in the league, but in the world. Chelsea are no pushovers. They are the current WSL champion, and they've also managed to retain their FA Cup titles. That's two titles they've managed to retain this campaign. So much to talk about when it comes to Chelsea, a powerhouse, a force to be reckoned with. So the fact that Bunny didn't find her name on the score sheet on this occasion, definitely not something to be disappointed about. Positive there for us to all think about there is the fact that she found the assist for the equalizer again in the first 45. Miss Brown, good evening to yourself. How's your Sunday treating you? I bet I can answer that one for myself, but I'll allow you to do the answering and provide me with the response. I can see a lot of Jamaica. I was like, really? But then again, I shouldn't be surprised because we're in London and we already know that when it comes to London, we have one of the largest Jamaican diaspora communities, right? So when I went inside the stadium and I spotted at least one Jamaica flag, I was like, okay. Bunny and Drew are no doubt right at home. That was nice seeing the Jamaica flag there at the Wembley Stadium today. JT say I'm happy for both girls. I'm gonna stick a pin in it there, JT, and you guys there in the comments. I hope you've been kind to me, guys. I hope you have come into the live stream and you've already hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button, you're doing me an absolute disservice. I'm about to bring someone on because I can see that he's patiently waiting in my studio and he's been sat there for a while again, patiently waiting. You would have seen him on my live stream multiple times before on previous streams, obviously. If you're not familiar with his name, let me go ahead and remind you guys that it is Mr. Mikey Ballin. How are you, sir?
I am pretty good, enjoying my Sunday afternoon.
Yeah?
Yep, it's a good
How's the
sun.
Sunday looking for you? How you feeling?
Well, feeling good. I just had to relax all day today. Didn't have to be in the galley, so that's good. I'm free as a bird.
Free as a bird. I like that. Would you make of today's FA Cup showdown there with the Reggae Girls going head to head? Drew Spence's Chelsea coming out on top against Bunny Shaw's Manchester City.
It was better than the guys' FA Cup.
You know, Mikey, I can always bank on you to say the right things. I don't even have to feed you anything. I can just bank
Listen,
on you to say the appropriate things.
a team went ahead 3 times. Well, let's say 2 times, and a team came back. Should have went ahead themselves a couple of times, and the team that got pegged back 2 times eventually won the game. I mean, you can ask a bit. Any game that had end up 3-2, you got 5 goals. You have both sides going the game going back and forth. But I think if by the run of play, I think Manchester City should have won, but they didn't do the job, so Chelsea took it.
I want to ask you, I want to pull your leg a little bit there. Why would you say that Manchester City should have won? What's your observation?
I think they got clear chances and they were more. I mean, the game went back and forth. But I think that Manchester played better, but
Okay.
it's not who played better, it's who score.
Exactly. And let's
Right?
remind ourselves about Manchester. I don't know about you guys there in the comment section or Mikey. I can almost guess what Mikey would have wanted. I think it's the same thing like myself. I looked at that team sheet, I looked at the starting 11, and I was a little bit disappointed because I'm a little bit greedy when it comes to the Reggae Girls. I wanted Drew to start because when we looked at Manchester City, we saw that Bunny was starting obviously that uplifted our mood. But pending that this was Drew Spence's final dance for Chelsea, because she is now officially leaving
Mhm.
Chelsea there. The confirmation came some days ago that this will be her final game for the Blues, the blue half of London. So, Mikey, I don't know about you, but I definitely wanted to see Drew Spence in the starting 11 squaring off against her compatriot Bunny Shaw.
Yes, because we are Jamaicans. We're biased towards Jamaica. We wish every Jamaica would start on every team they are in. Yeah, I, I'm. I must, truth be told, I'm not a Manchester City fan when it comes to the gentlemen, but I'm a fan because of Bunny. Also a fan of Chelsea because of Drew, but I'm no longer a fan of Chelsea after today because she's no longer there. So, oh, they just lost my support. But never tell they may take up Jody Brown or somebody like that soon. So
Then that means we'll have to bounce back and go to Chelsea, right? And it's
I,
so weird. This just goes to show your love for the reggae girls, because you're a Manchester United fan. So to hear a Manchester United fan saying that they want Manchester City to win
not
simply
literally
because of money.
two different teams. The It's two different teams. Okay.
I'm not going to fault you. I'm not going to fault you. I was going to say simply because of money, then, fair play to you, because clearly what you're saying is it is country over club.
Yeah, because even right now I'm watching Aston Villa. I never watch Aston Villa. You know what I mean? I'm watching West Ham. I don't watch those teams. But I start watch because Jamaicans are on them, so I'm going to. I used to watch Bolton when Bibi was there. I mean, because you have to support your countrymen and women, whatever team they're on. If you can see the game on the TV, you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm not a City fan when it comes to the gentlemen. That is, although um, Sterling is playing on the team, I watch them because Sterling is playing. He's a Jamaican, but he's playing for England, so not bad, not bad. Yeah.
Mr. Scott, no, I would not like to see Bunny. I would not like to see Jodie play for Tottenham. I would say I would like to see Jodie play for Chelsea. Definitely not Tottenham. But hey, if she ends up playing for Tottenham in the future, then it's unfortunate, but I'll have to support her, just like how I support Rebecca Spencer. So personally, I would love to see Jodie Brown, that is, play for Chelsea instead of Tottenham. And you guys know the reason why I'm saying that as well. I don't need to go too in depth with that
Well,
one.
well, for me, as long as she gets to play in England, it will improve her game a lot. Doesn't matter
Mhm.
what team she's playing for, as long as she's playing in the Super League.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I when she gets herself settled and maybe make a name for herself, then she can choose she can step up. You know,
So
but just
am
to
I
get
right?
just to get her shoe in or toe in the door, yeah, that's what you sometimes you need to take something that you don't want just to get your toe in. Sometimes when you get your toe in and settling, then you can choose you where you want to be.
You know what, Mr. Bannon, I'm going to leave you down that road by yourself, because I don't want to upset my Tottenham fans of you calling their club a stepping stone there. So I'm gonna leave you with that one,
I
because
I
you're
am
back
I am
broad.
you see I'm a United fan, so every team except United is a stepping stone.
Well, look, sir, I'm not here to sit and argue with you, but if the fans come for you in the comment section, I'll have no choice but to sit here and defend you, because that's just the way it
And
is.
I'm going to continue today. I was wishing that West Ham would win so bad when they went two up. That's what I was wishing.
Let me ask you, what was your key moment there of the game, outside of the obvious being that Drew Spence has signed off on her Chelsea career on the high. She's managed to secure a double. She won this year's FA Women's Super League. She's won the title, and she's also gone one step further by winning the FA Cup. So that's Drew Spence doing the double. She's won the league in England with Chelsea, and she's added another trophy to her cabinet by winning the FA Cup today.
I think the high of the game was the second goal of City goal. That mean I don't think Mr. I don't think it was I mean That was a wonderful takedown. I mean, she could play. She could play for Manchester United right now because they really need a striker. I mean, that was a magical goal. I mean, no gentleman could have done any better.
Yeah, that one sent the stadium mad, absolutely mad. I had my head down writing. I'm trying to look up and I'm writing. I was just like, that did not just happen. We're going
The,
to extra time.
yeah, the goalkeeper had no chance, but before the goal could react, the ball was past her
Mm,
because she didn't dress that. She just put it down. The next connection of the ball was her pushing her laces in the ball.
yeah, yeah.
So that was beautifully done. I hope the reggae boys watching the ladies how they do these things.
I'm gonna get onto that later on. Not necessarily the reggae boys, but when you talk about these things, I gather you're talking about winning and so on, lifting trophies and so on. So
Yes,
before we close off on tonight's live stream, guys, I've got about 25 more minutes with you. I know it's unlike me to be here so relatively short, but like I said, I have a ton of work to do before I close my eyes tonight. Bang on 12 o'clock. Going to be talking a little bit more about lifting trophies where the rest of the reggae girls are concerned. If you're just tuning in, the banner reads for itself. It says reggae girls end their season on a high. And the reggae girls that we're talking about is Drew Spence and Chelsea. Drew Spence and Chelsea have completed the double, and what a way to do it in her final game for the Blues. She'd already put the title in her back pocket, and in today's game against her compatriot Bonnie Shaw, she went and added the FA Cup to her cabinet. Also, we're going to be talking about Chantel Swaby and Kayla McCoy. But before we get there, I'm going to stick a pin in it, and we're going to continue to talk about today's FA Cup final, the Women's FA Cup final, or as I like to call it, the Reggae Girls FA Cup final. I can see I have another familiar face there in the studio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring him on screen. You guys are familiar with the politician, right? You're definitely familiar with the politician. If you're not familiar with the politician, his name is none other than Mr. Richard Stevens. How are you, sir?
Greetings. I am well. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. I am well, but I'm a little bit disappointed because I can't see my favorite person, who is obviously Ted. So I don't really know what this is all about. There's a change of dynamics here. Where is Ted? Is Ted sleeping?
Oh, ye of little faith. Uno momento, as we say. Uno momento. Ted, she's calling for you.
There we go. Hi, Ted. Hi, Ted. How are you, Ted? Good? Lovely stuff. I know Ted enjoyed the FA Cup final. But what about you, Mr. Stevens? How do you rate today's FA Cup victory?
First of all, I'm on my manners. It's always a pleasure to be in the presence of royalty. Mr. Mikey Ballin. Mr. Mikey Ballin. Good night, sir. Good night, sir.
Yes, Mr. Richard. Yes, sir, Richard. No, Lord Richard. Sorry, you're in England. Lord Richard, step up.
I'm honored. Crystal, Mikey, yes, I did hear a couple of comments from Mikey and your good self. Let and allow Ted and myself to add our congratulations to the quality and caliber, the drama of the Women's FA Cup final. Before a record audience, 49,000 plus, nearly 50,000. I mean, wow. And what a feast of football that was offered. Now, you know I'm an Arsenal man. I'm an Arsenal man, as you are as well, Crystal. I don't know if you remember, there was a 1979.
Oh, wait, Richard, give me a second. Richard, I think my mic is going out. I think something is wrong because the Arsenal thing that hurt my ears.
You've got 2020 vision and 2020 hearing. Indeed, I'm going to throw back. You know, the beautiful thing about football, we respect the game on Tallawah TV. We respect the game. Amidst the rivalry and the tribalism, the game should be the winner. 1979, Arsenal versus Manchester United. A 2-2 drama went into extra time. Alan Sunderland, outstretched foot, made it 3-2 to Arsenal. And this game, 3-2, 5-goal thriller. I think that we should applaud both Chelsea and the Manchester City teams for producing a final that lived up to expectations. I enjoyed the men's final. I really did. 0-0, but two quality teams going at it. I mean, amazing that it ended 0-0. But this Women's Cup final, Greenwood, one of my favorite players, Sam Kerr, the Australian. I mean, she had to be in it somehow, and she came up with a brace today. But Bunny Shaw assisting with the goal for Hemp for Manchester City. A terrific encounter. And Crystal, you were there. You were there. We saw you on Instagram posting. Thank you very much. What was it like for you to be in a record crowd, a record attendance, and watching such a terrific encounter, of course, featuring our reggae girls, Bunny and Drew? What was it like for you?
It was incredible. Honestly, it was incredible. I went to the Wembley Stadium pretty much high on confidence because I knew at the end of the day, at the end of full time, I'm walking away happy. I know either way, a reggae girl's winning, so therefore I'm happy. Not many people can say that when it comes to their supporting nations, but we are so spoiled that our players, our quality of our players, have seen them play for some of the biggest teams in the world. And because of that, we're getting a showdown at the home of football in front of a record breaking attendance, like you said, 49 plus thousand people inside Wembley Stadium for the Women's FA Cup final. Drew Spence for Chelsea, Bunny Shaw for Manchester City. I knew either way, whichever way the result went, I know I'm going to be happy. So whilst I was doing my videos there for Instagram, I was genuinely happy because I'm like, this is amazing because some fans, I don't know, I can't see to the future, but at that point I'm like, maybe Manchester City fans are going to go home unhappy, or maybe Chelsea fans are going home unhappy, but I know I'm not going home unhappy. And so that's an unusual feeling to carry in a cup final. Not a lot of people can carry that. So we have to say, big up to our girls because they're holding their own at the highest level of the game. Like I said, not a lot of nations can say they have two, not one, but two of their compatriots there in a cup final, a pivotal cup final at the home of football, Wembley Stadium, in front of a record breaking crowd. Sensational stuff. And to be there live in the flesh from minute one, even before the game kicked off, just walking up to Wembley, I was just smiling. I was happy. As like, today's gonna be a good day, and a good day it was.
You were a winner. You were gonna be a winner either way, Mikey.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell for those guys who comes on all these streams on YouTube who say that the women game not doing anything, not bringing any funds. Remember this day. This is April 15th or 14th. Like, well, it depends on where you are. That 49,000 fans plus was at Wembley. In 5 years' time, it's going to be maximum. And the women game is getting up there just like the male. And I said, from now, prepare to pay the women the same as you pay the men. Because big contracts, because they're going to draw in as much money as the men. They're going to sell out. Those stadiums they're playing in now in England is like they're practice stadiums, right? They still have to move them to the big stadium. Because the women's game is on the improve. And the quality is just, well, is almost there. Not as good as the men, but believe me, it's a more pure game. Nobody diving. The men and nobody turning over and peeing as you just kind of cross them foot. So it makes the game more pure and better. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
Mikey,
mean,
I must. Oh,
huh?
go ahead, Mikey.
I mean, I love the men game, but sometimes the diving and the whole spinning around when you get a little touch and carrying off somebody to get a card. I mean, you don't see it in a women game. You don't see those things.
Yeah, there was a few solid challenges today, and I was like, "Whoa, fair play to you!" It's not the first time that I've seen that in the women's game, where they literally just taking it on the chin. You know,
Right.
no fraffing around, no sulking. Someone clip your ankles, you just soldier on. Literally, you tough it up. I don't know if that's just because of that's just how we're built as women. We have a strong tolerance for pain, so
Yeah.
maybe that has something to do with it. But seeing the players charging at each other and no one, being overly dramatic and
Yeah.
trying to get players sent off,
Yeah.
hats off to the players today, because if there is ever a game to try and get a player sent off, surely it is at the home of football in
Yeah.
a cup final where both teams are looking to do the double. Bunny's team are looking to do the double, having won the Continental Cup at the expense of Drew Spence's Chelsea. Chelsea trying to do the double, having already won the league title, but there was no playing around there. There was no sinister motive. And I think as a neutral, irrespective of whether you support Chelsea or Manchester City, you must have enjoyed that game.
Yeah, and plus, the women don't try to be actresses as the men are trying to win the Oscar over in
Mm,
Hollywood every time they play. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's just ridiculous. Sometimes you see them out them just to get somebody a card. The referee
yeah,
give them a card
yeah.
because they're
I
delaying the game.
I
Huh?
must say I've been particularly impressed with the quality of the women's game over the last couple of seasons. The standard, in its own right, in my opinion, has really been going up and up and up. And it was a joy to see the quality of finishing and the build-up play from from both teams. And I tell you what, Crystal, Mikey, I've got a confession. Ted, can I share this confession? Yeah, Ted, I think it's all right. Crystal, I think I am an honorary women's football supporter. Ted and myself
But
have been won over. Not that we weren't won over before, but I tell you, when I reflect and when we reflect on the season that we've seen in the women's game, not only from the Reggae Girls, but also from the Women's Super League, watching the likes of Chelsea, Manchester City, and watching the teams go at it, the quality, build up play, finishing, defense, goalkeeping, it we've got a very good product on our hands. Here in England, it's a really good product. In America, I know it's burgeoning. Jamaica, we've got steps to go. We've got steps to go. But I tell you, it really is it's a sport, and it's one that I hope will increase in terms of participation and in terms of the fandom. More fans being able to go to the game, more publicity, more promotion, and I think it's an upwards trajectory. And I'm jumping on board. I'm jumping on board. I thoroughly enjoyed the season. Crystal, do you see and sense the enthusiasm? Is my enthusiasm misplaced? Do we have other people who are equally as excited about the women's game?
To be honest with you, I think so. I have a friend who showed up at the game. He messaged me yesterday asking if I'm going to go to the game because he wanted to buy tickets. And obviously, by then, I was already going for my paper, the Voice newspaper. That is, for those of you who are wondering, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned the Voice newspaper on here like a handful of times. Obviously, guys, that is the newspaper that I write for. If you're not familiar with the Voice newspaper, they are Britain's only black national newspaper. So I was already going there to do reporting duties, and he actually went and bought a ticket just to sit in the stands and take in the game. And he's an Arsenal fan. So for him to do that, again, an Arsenal fan, the last thing you probably want to do is see Chelsea, one of your rivals there, bearing in mind Chelsea Arsenal to the title, the WSL title, that is where the women's top division is concerned in England, to know that they could potentially do the double. Last thing you probably want to see is that happening as an Arsenal fan. But fair play to him. He showed up, watched the game, touched base with him after the game, and he enjoyed it. And I know we also had JT there in the comment section. He was at Wembley Stadium as well, supporting both of our girls. Just want to backtrack on some of the stuff that you guys have said in relation to the numbers there, the 40 plus 49 plus thousand supporters there. Record breaking numbers for those of you who are wondering at Wembley Stadium for today's FA Cup victory, Women's FA Cup victory. And the victory on this occasion belongs to Chelsea. They are the back-to-back champions. Did manage to speak to Bunny after the game with regards to the game itself, and she actually said she spoke, paraphrasing, she spoke to her agent, and she said, I think this is the biggest crowd she's ever played in front of. This is what it's all about. Hopefully the women's game can continue to grow. And she's obviously talking about playing at club level, right? Because she's already played at the World Cup with Jamaica in France, the 2019 World Cup, that is. So for Bunny to be saying this is the biggest crowd she's played in front of, she did it at the home of football. Think about it. A player who have gone from playing on the streets of Jamaica today was part of a record-breaking crowd where women's football, where the Women's FA Cup is concerned, where the home of football is concerned, where Wembley is concerned. Stuff like that, it's just emotional for all the right reasons. It leaves
Crystal,
you
my
beaming from
goodness
ear
me.
to ear, doesn't it?
You've got Ted and myself almost in tears. I think it might be hay fever as far as I'm concerned, but Ted, my goodness me, I can feel him trembling. My goodness me, you're waxing lyrical tonight, Crystal, and with due chords. May I say good night to Gregory Reed in the comments section, as well as Damien from McGregor. Salute. Ted is here. He'll be finding his bed soon. But full respect for those listening. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. It's a short show, but it's absolutely a pleasure for us to be celebrating and basking in the FA Cup success of Chelsea and Manchester City. Both contributed to an outstanding game filled with drama and quality. So full salute. Mikey.
Richard, Teddy seemed to be a bit thirsty. Give him something to drink. You're alone drinking. Anyway.
Ted,
Don't be selfish.
I'm gonna keep the secret between Ted and myself goes no further. He's had a sip or two. I'll say that much. He's had a sip or two.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yes.
Anyway, Richard, you touched on the Jamaica women about the step the game, but based on the under 17 girls, based on what I saw, Jamaica have a lot of potential coming for the future.
No doubt.
I see a lot of those under 17 girls ending up with big teams because they're individually skillful, but they didn't play as a unit in the under 17 tournament, and they only get better when they get to go overseas and get a better, more playing time and better coaching. Let's put it that way. Don't want to put on the Jamaican coaches. They do the best they can with what they have. But when you go to a system where you have people going to analyze your game, tell you what you're doing wrong and all those stuff, and can show you on a video screen that you actually see what you're doing wrong, that will make them improve. So I see Jamaica challenging to go to the World Cup every cycle.
Wow, it's really interesting. We don't want to divert too much, but that's a great point and a positive point that you're making there, Mikey. Crystal, I don't know if you've been following. I know you've been very busy. You've had your back problem. God bless you. It's fantastic that you recovered. You're a yeoman. You are a yeoman.
Wait,
a
Richard,
real fighter. You know what she's been through, Mikey?
Yeah, Richard.
Sir.
A friend told me on the mango tree that Crystal was trying to bench press 500 pounds. That's why she hurt her back.
I can only state that as unconfirmed or alleged. Crystal, that's not the story that you told me, Crystal, but I could be mistaken. Maybe you've got some Olympic aspirations in the weightlifting category.
Yeah, listen, Richard, it's from the mango tree, not the grapevine, from the mango tree.
Oh, yeah, Sir Rasta. It's a different kind of tree. Crystal, can we corroborate this?
A Julie mango tree.
I wish that story was true. I wish that story was what you could do with that. I'll be definitely buying my WhatsApp calling equipment so I could have some WhatsApp conversation with you guys in the comment section. But definitely weren't bench pressing on 500 pounds. I wish I was, but unfortunately I wasn't.
But let me are you feeling better though? Health is wealth. How are you feeling now? Because I don't know if you were sitting or standing, but for those who weren't aware, Crystal did have a little back trouble. And when we say little, anyone who's experienced back trouble before, it's something that you can't ignore, and that's when you really appreciate your health. When the back goes, I've had it before. When the back goes, you're just, if only, why me? If only you can't get out of it. How did you get over it? How did you cope? And how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better now, to be honest with you. Over the last couple of days, I've deliberately just tried to rest it as much as I can. Hasn't always been easy. And like I said to you, the first day when I pulled my back, I was dropping everything there was. I was like, I don't usually drop things. I'm not a clumsy person. So how is it as soon as I pull my back, I'm dropping every single thing. But today, almost a week later, because it was on Monday that I pulled my back, almost a week later, I'm feeling much better. And I'm happy that's the case, because today at Wembley would have been a painful one, but thankfully I was feeling good, feeling really good at Wembley today.
Crystal,
Adrenaline.
I have a question for you. You had on a heavy jacket today. Was it that cold in London?
It was very British. So yesterday it was scorching hot, and I was told that it would be raining today, which it did rain. And knowing me and knowing the British weather, when it rains, it gets a little bit chilly. So I said, "You're not
Oh,
going to catch me slipping today. I'm going to come prepared, and I'm going to control
Wise.
you. You're not controlling
Ah,
me." Because one thing you can do is you can make yourself warm. You can make yourself warm, but you can't make yourself cool. Can't make
okay.
myself cool, but I can
So,
probably make myself warm.
so Crystal, so therefore you're telling me that you run things, things around you.
oh, you
Basically,
mean
yeah.
said way, you know what she said? She control things. She now make the weather controller. She
Well,
can
she,
control things.
It's
yeah,
funny
man.
because I had my, you guys couldn't see it, but I also, just to show you just how much I was not going to be defeated by the British weather today, because like I said, I came out feeling good. I had my sunglasses with me as well. You guys couldn't see it. I had
You,
my sunglasses and my puffer
Dark is at
jacket.
the ready.
Yeah, I had my darkers, my stomach's ready, and I say I'm enjoying my day out at Wembley today, and the British weather is not going to ruin it for me, and it didn't.
Full respect. Before I forget, let me just raise that point. And again, Crystal, you were representing Tallawah TV with dignity and a big smile. And we salute because you were there. You shared on Instagram. And Jamaica were representing the flag. The flag was there, hanging with pride.
Yeah.
Richard,
So we salute. We salute. Somebody put it up there, sir. And we have to give thanks. Jamaica all over the place, you know. Tallawah
Ri-
every
Richard,
time. Yes,
I have
sir.
a question for you.
Anytime.
Which channel is a number one female football channel, Jamaican reggae girls channel in the world? Tell me what name. Can't remember.
Well,
Me have memory problem.
I could be mistaken in my humble opinion and my knowledge. Tallawah TV is hard to beat. If there's anything better and anyone better,
Yeah.
then you can
Okay.
tell me. Tallawah TV, as far as I know,
The only one
this
that's better
channel,
than
this
Tala,
one, this one, right? Yes, sir.
the only one that's better than Tala TV is Crystal Davis.
Are we are
Oh,
mobile TV? We call that mobile TV. You see,
you
Yes.
guys
she'll
are
move
far
anywhere. She
too
there.
kind.
Reggae girls, they there.
Well,
Yeah.
before we go, I want to big up Bonnie and Miss Spence for being in the FA Cup Finals. Miss Spence for winning, and wish her the best of luck with whichever team she end up on next season. And I'll be looking out for her taking Jamaica to the next World Cup, both of them, and also the other girls up in Scotland. Also, I don't want to leave them out, and the girls
Kyla
also,
McCoy,
right,
Swaby.
because they won also. So we want to big them up. I want to let them know that Tallawah TV, I'm speaking for Richard and Crystal, that we support you guys 100%. And you know, say, we are big you up every time you come on the TV. And we're going to call it like we see it. And I want
Full
to say this again, the number one reggae girl channel.
one.
Remind me again, Richard, what name again? Remind me.
Tallawah, small but with Tallawah TV. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, there.
And Richard,
Remember that.
Richard, I have one more question.
Yes,
Last
sir.
question. Of all the channels you be on, which TV host, which channel hosts have the best smile?
No, you posed a difficult one there. You posed a difficult one. It's a three-way tussle. It's a three-way tussle as far as I'm concerned.
Uh-oh,
Coach
Teddy's
Minzy,
involved.
Coach Minzy, Captain JD, I Max it, and Crystal, right there, sir, Davis.
So who take the goal?
Well, you said that no, it's Olympic year. You're really pushing me. World Championship year. Olympic
Yeah.
is next year. World Championship, gold, silver, bronze. Well,
Mikey's always coming up with something for you, Richard.
he's coming up. Well, do I want to pay bias? I think you'll go a long way to beat Crystal Davis's smile.
You see, if
You'll
I
go
ask
a long
Crystal,
way to beat that smile. But you know, Coach Minzy and JD, they're fierce rivals. But I think she's got the Elaine Thompson Hera smile.
listen, hey, listen, Crystal, right? I can't ask Crystal because she's gonna be biased towards herself. So I have to ask you.
And Teddy can answer as well. Teddy, you ready? Go on. We are asked.
I think it's
Teddy.
refreshing.
Hold on, Teddy Bridgen, tell the people themselves who are the best broadcaster on YouTube. Tell them.
Davis.
Oh my God! Wow, I've laughed so much today. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy.
Short but sweet.
Oh, you mean that's how we do it? That's how we do it.
It's like I said to Bunny, today today I said to her, and I was doing an interview with her on the game itself, and talking about her assist and the crowd. Like, I've watched her go from strength to strength in her career, like, from the university days or college days, if you're based in the States, going over to France, and then subsequently making her way here. Just watching the girls go from strength to strength from when they came to Nottingham. And of course, I was there in Nottingham with them when they had their London send-off. I was there for their London send-off. When they went to France, I was there in France every single game. And then to be there again today when they're creating further history, record breaking numbers at Wembley for the Women's FA Cup final. It's just it's incredible. You can only be happy because when you've seen a person or a group of people in the trenches and they're finally tasting success, you're happy for them because you know that they're worthy winners. They deserve success for all the trials. Yeah, for all the trials and tribulations that they've been through. All the reggae girls in recent weeks have just tasted success left, right, and center in a number of different leagues, and they deserve it.
And we know that they're going to continue next month.
We're going to get onto that. Perfect timing. Because I actually have something that I want to ask you guys, and you guys there in the comment section. And I'm going to get up something just to get you guys in a bit of a better mood. I know you guys are in a great mood at the moment. So let me just give you guys a little quick bring you guys up to speed there if you're just tuning in the comment section there, or if you're silently watching on tonight's show. The banner reads for itself. You don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. It says reggae girls end their season on a high, and that's only a handful of reggae girls who have ended their season on a high. Today it was Drew Spence's Chelsea who came out on top in the Women's FA Cup there in England at Wembley, and they did so at the expense of someone said, no, it wasn't. I'll read that again for you since you're asking about the FA Cup winners there. It's Drew Spence's Chelsea who were this year's FA Cup winners. Give you guys a bit of visual, if I could remove my banner there for you so that you guys can see what it looks like on screen. I'm going to turn on my shared screen. You guys know I love to turn on a shared screen. For those of you who are tuning in, this is what it's all about. Back-to-back champions. You can pretty much read this one for yourself. You don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. That's Chelsea women back-to-back champions where the Women's FA Cup is concerned. And there you go, big Drew Spence, their final dance for Chelsea, final game for Chelsea, and she departs after a decade of service to the Blue Half of London. She departs ending this season on a spectacular high, the league title in her back pocket, and she also have the FA Cup in her back pocket at the expense of her compatriot Khadija Bunny Shaw. Let's remind ourselves that some weeks ago it was Khadija Bunny Shaw and Manchester City who had the last laugh, beating Drew Spence and Chelsea in the Continental Cup. Today it was a reverse of what we've seen before. And let's take things up a notch. Let's take things up a notch, guys. We've already discussed Rangers women. So that is the home of Chantal Swaby and Kayla McCoy. And we spoke about them becoming champions of the Scottish Premier League. And how about this? It has gotten better. This one reads for itself, doesn't it? If you don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. It says undefeated. Let me read that for you once more. That is Kayla McCoy and Chantal Swaby's Rangers have completed their season undefeated, beating Celtic in the Old Firm Derby 3-1. So there you go again, guys. A lovely bit of update for you where the Reggae Girls is concerned. Champions, left, right, and center. Let me take off my banner there because I have a really important question that I want to put to my two lovely special guests here. Talk about lifting trophies. You guys might need to get your fingers ready there unless you are good at maths. May help you guys out with this one. In the last couple of weeks, we've sat here, we've celebrated back-to-back trophies with a handful of Reggae Girls. Let's give ourselves a gentle reminder of what we've seen so far. This campaign in recent weeks, we've seen Bunny Shaw and Manchester City crowned Continental Cup champions. We've also seen the Hungarian Women's Cup go to Cameron and Keane, right? In the Scottish Premier League, we've seen Kayla McCoy and Chantal Swaby undefeated in their league campaign. We're also seeing Marlo Sweatman as the runners-up in the Hungarian Women's Cup there. So that's 6 so far. We've also seen Drew Spence with 2 trophies to her name. Guys, Drew Spence with 2 trophies to her name. The league title and also the FA Cup. And today we saw Bunny with the FA Cup runners-up medal. So far, that is 8 different victories there, right? That's basically half, more than half, way more than half of your starting 11 there. Players from across the globe lifting trophies, be it the Continental Cup, the Hungarian Cup, the Scottish Premier League, the Women's Super League, the FA Cup. Players picking up medals for fun. Surely, given what we've seen in recent weeks, if we do not qualify for the Women's World Cup on a second time of asking, 2 times in quick succession there, surely that would be a sackable offense. Am I right for thinking so?
You left out one person, although it was a couple of weeks ago, months ago, Jodie Brown. She won the college championship.
Recent weeks there, Mikey.
Oh,
Recent
recent.
weeks.
Well,
Yeah,
you see, you see, you see, when you get older, the time go faster. So recent weeks could be like 6 months ago.
Wonderful, Mikey.
Which I tell him
Wonderful.
truth.
My goodness me.
Eh?
Hey, listen, congratulations to Jodie, and congratulations to all the Reggae Girls that Crystal reeled off. We do have a pool, a squad, a team of winners, highly skilled competitors, and there's a question that has been asked by Crystal. Mikey, I'm going to give you first bash at answering that question.
Before you guys go ahead and answer that, let me read that again for you guys in case you have forgotten, because it's quite a handful there where success is concerned in recent weeks. We have seen champions in the Continental Cup where Bunny and Manchester City is concerned, the Hungarian Cup, that's Tiffany Cameron and Alika Keane, the Scottish Premier League, that's Kayla McCoy and Chantal Swaby, undefeated in Scotland in their league campaign. In the WSL, we've seen Drew Spence bag another trophy with Chelsea, and she's also gone one better by bagging the FA Cup as well. And then subsequently, that basically means that Bunny on this occasion has the runners-up medal. Actually, looking back at the Continental Cup, on that occasion, it means Drew Spence was the runners up, right? So basically, when we're not winning the trophy or the cup, the title or the cup, we're coming runners up. So taking that into consideration that we've lifted multiple trophies across the globe, if we look at the international scene, surely given that our girls have developed a habit of winning things, winning major honors with their respective clubs, if we do not see more of the same where the international scene is concerned, is that not a sackable offense?
Well, Crystal, I know that you did mention to both myself and the audience that you were going to run a short show. It's 50 minutes on the clock. That's time added on
I'm
going into
not
the
going to
first
end
half.
this one and until I get an answer from the both of you
Richard,
there.
Well, this is why. Mikey, I tell you what, I want you to take the lead on this, Mikey, and I will join in. In fact, I'm going to take the lead.
I went to do something before I answered the question. When Crystal tell me she was going to say do 45, I just say, so you say.
And I saw me say, so you say, I see him something me tell her, Mikey.
See
And that's
tell
why
her.
you mean me tell her for morning, soon as she tell me, I said, she'll give us a one half of a 90-minute game. I said, so you say, we'll see when that moment comes. But now the moment has come and passed. I am imploring the viewers and subscribers out there. I can see Jermaine Miller, Rochelle is there. God bless CC, Jamaica, LOL 92, Taja Scott. Anyone in the building, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. The like, the thumbs up, because we're going to get into some juicy conversation.
Richard, what has the score between you and I is 2-2. We're going into extra time.
No problem. I've got the legs for it. And I've got Teddy as my backup as well. Teddy's my backup. He's watching from the sideline, the 12th man.
You guys are giving me a bashing, but what you have to understand is I'm trying to give you a flavor of what happened today at Wembley.
Let me tell you.
So we went into extra time at Wembley, so now I'm taking the show into extra time. I'm trying to make you guys feel good, for not being there at Wembley with me.
Listen, Richard, she feel good. We making she feel good. That's why she keeping us so long. Anyway.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna go one way or the other. I'm gonna go. I'm spoiled for choice. Crystal, she is the boss when it comes to introductions, and she's introduced this time added on beautifully, may I say, beautifully and seamlessly. Hit the like button just for that. Trust me.
Richard, I said to her, Richard, you are the queen, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow you back. You understand me? You know them suitcase where you pull behind you?
Oh, yeah.
Back and make them name, So.
well, watch out. Mikey, do you want to take it? I've got an initial answer, but yes. I'd like to see your season.
No. Well, this is what I think.
Answer. Yes, sir.
The girls are in a winning mood. They're confident, but the situation going on back home is not a good situation to go back into. So there's a lot of negatives there. So the JFF has done their part by keeping the coach. Now, I think if I was Vin Blaine, I would step aside. And if I was the JFF, give the girls the coach that they want. Because it's a win-win situation for the JFF. If they get to the World Cup, they can say they did the right thing. And if they don't get to the World Cup, they can say, are them the striker, are them send with the coach, I could have taken them there.
Remember that the girls themselves don't have a issue with Vin Blaine. Remember, it's more to do with the professional things that's going on internal. So that could allude to a number of things. That could allude to maybe they're not.
If they don't have a problem with Vin Blaine, then the boat are rolled, then swallow on the pot and on fire, then man.
Clearly there's an issue there. So what I'm saying is, if they don't have an issue with the gaffer himself, then clearly it could be a case of issues elsewhere. So when you talk about professionalism, you have to ask yourself, what does professionalism look like? That's the reason why I named out the list of trophies and the list of players who have won titles or runner-up medals in the last couple of weeks, because basically when you look at the players like Bonnie, Cameron Keane, Drew Spence, Marlo Sweatman, Kayla McCoy, Chantel Swaby, in recent weeks they've clinched titles They've won runners-up medals. So basically, they've developed, if they didn't have that already, they've developed this level of elitism, this level of I want to win things, this level of I'm hungry for more. So when you transfer that over to the national setup, what I'm saying is if they can't continue on that trajectory where they're winning things similar for their respective clubs, is that not in turn a sackable offense? Because you have at least, as things stands, 8 players that have tasted success for their clubs in recent weeks. Surely when they come to the national side, it has to be more of the same.
Yeah.
And
Also,
Mikey, can I?
Richard,
Could I?
second.
Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
want everybody to know that I support the girls. Right? The girls are what? That is the team. Now all the other outside noise, I want to get rid of. I want to mute that. It's all
Yeah.
about the girls. Let's get rid of the outside noise. The JFF made their decision. Maybe not the decision that the ladies like, but that is the decision. So therefore, we are in it to win it. We're not going to the World Cup just to say we go to the World Cup this time. We're going to the World Cup to win it. So therefore, the girls should just come band as a team, as a unit, and get the job done. And I'm with you. I'm going to try and get to Mexico, but that don't look like it's going to happen. But I would love to be there with my one Jamaican flag.
Let me ask you again there, Mr. Ballin. So would you deem that a sackable offense? Remember, sackable offense could come in a number of forms. It could be it could be a simple remove of the old guard.
Any coach that take the girls to the next round and don't get them past the next round is sackable. Bye.
Again, the sackable offense there, it could be the removal of the old guard. So the old guard, be it the JFF. I know they're rooted to the ground, so it's literally
you can't get rid of the JFF. You can't get rid of the coaching staff.
Mission impossible to remove the JFF. Again, you could look at the coach himself, the gaffer, Mr. Vin Blaine, or you could also bring the coaching staff into that setup. So that's why I'm asking, if they cannot get the girls to qualify for a second consecutive World Cup, bearing in mind that they have tasted success this season from the start of the year to recent weeks, is that not in turn a sackable offense? Because they're doing it for their respective clubs. So you would expect that it will be more of the same for their country.
Yes. I think that's a sackable offense. Yeah, go ahead, Richard. You go ahead.
All right, sir. Briefly initially, is it a sackable offense? I was going to make a point a little earlier, and this particular question brings again into sharp, you could say, focus, the vexed, interesting issue around and centering around the quality of Jamaican coaching. I know that there were some issues around the under-17 reggae girls and the caliber of the coaching there. I know the under-20 men's reggae boys team is also encountering some choppy waters where coaching is concerned. And in general, I think it's fair to say that the island of Jamaica does not have an abundance of top-class accredited coaches. And it's interesting that when we look, as you said, Mikey, at the talent pool and the quality of players with potential that is being realized and yet to be fully realized, that would come with better coaching and a better structure. It is really an interesting situation that we find ourselves in, where we have quality, high caliber players winning trophies, winning accolades, performing at the highest level, and competing with their peers across not only the CONCACAF but across the world and over here in England. It's very interesting that the coach situation regarding Vin Blaine, some people's eyes, he's not necessarily up to scratch in terms of being the coach that can bring out the very best from the players in some people's eyes. So it's a really interesting question and situation that we find ourselves in, because it's not just with the reggae girls that we face this question. So is it a sackable offense? Well, as soon as you raised that question, Crystal, I did cast my mind on who is in the group. I know that there's a third place option whereby third place players teams can go into a
Richard,
10-team.
Mr. Stevens, you're going on the path of playing the politician with me tonight.
I'm
feel
coming.
like
I'm coming. No, I'm coming. I'm coming around. I'm coming around. Here I come. The group. Here's the group. Hold on. Let's get the context. We're gonna get context there. The context is Jamaica are grouped with, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm mistaken, please help me. Haiti, Mexico, and America. Is that the group that Jamaica are faced in the same group as?
But
Is
you
that right?
have to look, if you're looking at the context of that group, you have to also take into consideration that they be looking at Jamaica and saying that Jamaica aren't pushovers.
Mexico.
Right?
No. Jamaica aren't no pushovers. It's a
Bearing in mind
competitive
that
group.
bearing in mind that Jamaica are trying to qualify for their second consecutive World Cup. So what I'm saying is, if I've already named that at least 8 players in recent weeks that's lifted trophies for their respective clubs. So taking that key bit of information into consideration, if you do not qualify for your second successive World Cup, where the Reggae Girls are concerned, obviously for international level for their respective nation, the black, green, and gold, is that not in turn a sackable offense because you're managing winners? That's what I'm trying to say here. You're literally in charge of winners. These are girls who have grown in an appetite of winning things, whether it be cups or league titles. What do you say to a Chantel Swaby and a Kayla McCoy who has just completed their season unbeaten? You don't pat them on the back and say, sorry, you're not going to the World Cup. These are girls who are more hungry than ever to qualify for a second consecutive World Cup. Again, a sackable offense doesn't necessarily mean that you want the coach gone. A sackable offense could be Vin Blaine turning around as the gaffer and saying, perhaps the people that's to the right of me, to the left of me, behind me, in front of me aren't up to par. They're not up to standard. So maybe in turn, if things are looking a little bit rocky, might have to shake things up behind the scenes. We know a sacking does not mean that the JFF are going to step aside or do things differently, because like I said, they're rooted to the ground. So again, a sackable offense doesn't necessarily mean that, we want the coach gone, we want the gaffer gone. It could be a case of shaking things up internally where his tools, the coaching staff, the tools is concerned.
Well, I'm just looking in the comments section. I'm going to finish my answer because I was coming towards the zenith of the answer. Tajay Scott says here, we need a coach that coaches overseas top teams. Tajay, that's an interesting point. Having extra experience from across the world certainly helps, and of course, our reggae girls are plying their trade not only in Jamaica, but no, they're playing their trade in America. They're playing their trade in likes of Iceland, in Hungary, in Scotland, and in England. We know that the reggae girls are in the group, as they say, of death. It is the tougher on paper, and I think on the pitch of the two groups, and it's a mouth-watering a group. Now, I'll tell you straight up, Jamaica can qualify from there in the top 2. They can also make it via the 10 team playoff. Those teams, none of them, Jamaica, Haiti, Mexico, or America, are easy pushovers. So would I say a sackable offense? I think at the highest level, so I'm thinking of other teams as well. You can have international managers who don't qualify, and simply because they do not qualify and their standards are that high, it does result in a shakeup, in a change of personnel, whatever the case may be. So I can go as far and say yes, that can, and it has happened. It could happen, absolutely. It's yes. There, I'd rest it right there.
Because you've touched on something there in terms of the quality of the other respective nations there in our groups. But again, the argument for that is today alone you can see that 2 heavyweights in top flight football, not just in England but in the world, they're going head to head with each other. Thankfully, we have a reggae girl on either side. So when you look at a Drew Spence and Bunny Shaw, they are used to going toe to toe with the best in the world. So when you're saying, they're going up against Mexico or going against the United States, that's not something that they should be put off by. That's not something that they're going to be put off by, because they've been testing themselves in the league itself, where they're going up against some of the best players in the world. Look at Sam Kerr. she's almost like a robot. The stuff that she does, it's not human. It is not human. She's out of this world. So that's what I'm saying. These girls are already testing themselves at club level. They've proven themselves at club level. So if we cannot maximize their potential at the international level, surely that then calls for a shake-up internally. Whatever that shake-up looks like, I have absolutely no clue. But surely next question is going to be is, where do we go from here? Because with the federation, they did something where their gaffer at the time, the ex-gaffer, Mr. Tapa Theodore Whitmore there, didn't qualify for the World Cup, and in turn, they removed them, right? So if we're talking about a level playing field and we're talking about fairness for all, equality and equity, surely because of what they did where the men's team is concerned, when you look across to the women's team where they are winning trophies left, right, and center, or picking up runners up medals and so on, growing appetite. The last senior team there to qualify for a World Cup is the Reggae Girls. So their hunger and determination is edging out their male counterparts where the Reggae Boys is concerned. So if you can remove their coach for not qualifying because you basically are saying that you didn't achieve what you should have achieved, is not the same, or will not the same be said for the current coaching staff where the senior team is concerned, where the women's senior team is concerned?
I just put a little caveat, just to clarify. I'd say with regard to Mr. Whitmore, he was relieved of his duties with Jamaica in a perilously difficult position. They technically could still have qualified, but it would have been difficult. So it was definitely mathematically possible to qualify when he was relieved of his duties. But yes, the results were not in keeping with the team and fans' expectation. That is definitely the case.
I think with all due respect to Mr. Tapa Theodore Whitmore there, I think that one was over and out. That was in a dark tunnel that even if he had a flashlight, he couldn't make his way out. That is the reason why he had to step aside and say, let someone else take over. That is why I said that his quest for qualifying for the World Cup came to an end. There was no way out. So what I'm saying is, bearing in mind that the men's team there, the last time that they qualified for the World Cup was in 1998, the Reggae Girls are the latest team, the last team to taste World Cup success. And yes, it is World Cup success because they qualified for the Women's World Cup there back in 2018 and went to France in 2019. If they could do something like that where the men's team is concerned, who haven't tasted World Cup success in almost 3 decades, surely you would expect that they're probably going to have to do the same if the women's team don't qualify for a second consecutive World Cup.
No, if Vin don't get them to qualify in this round, then he should go. But again, Vin shouldn't be there at this qualifying, because if the girls, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, there was some echo, but you're good. There was some echo, but you're coming through crystal clear.
If
no
Vin don't qualify us in the next 3 games, then Vin should go, because it's going to be hard to see why you're going to keep him for the if we get to the round of 10, the next the other section, if we finish third. Now the key to this World Cup qualifying is we have to stamp Mexico in the first game. We have to beat them, and if we beat them, we're almost there, because you need a tie with Mexico, with the US, or a tie with Haiti, and you're through. And that's all it takes.
Personally, I think that we can qualify. I think we have everything that it takes to qualify, which is why I'm saying if you do not qualify, you're toying with a sackable offense, because you cannot have girls winning trophies left, right, and center across the globe and then go into the national setup and they do not etch their names on a lovely bit of history there for the second time of asking. Surely questions will need to be answered. How is it possible that you're blooming and you're blossoming where your respective clubs are concerned, or even at university level, but when you come to the national scene, you're not living up to expectations? obviously you can't fire the girls. The girls are there. The girls aren't the issue here. The girls are there. So you have to look around the girls. We've already looked at the federation. You can almost bank your last dollar that they're not going to do a reshuffling. So if we're talking about reshuffling, the reshuffling has to come from the coaching setup.
Yeah.
There's some very interesting comments in the comments section, Crystal. I don't know if you want to get some of the comments read out or flagged up. I can see
And
it's one from
also,
Cushion, Taja,
Yeah,
as
there's
well
a
as
few comments there that I'm staying away from because I've been
okay,
through certain stuff already.
okay.
And I've told them to just pretty much draw a line when it comes to certain topic of conversation. And clearly what I say fall on deaf ears. So I'm not really going to be touching on certain conversations tonight.
also, the girls have enough guns and bullets on their team to go
Careful
to
with your language,
Jamaica.
you know, Rasta. Careful with
Eh?
your language, Rasta.
Okay.
It's peace and love you're coming with. I know you're coming with peace and love.
Yes, yes. But people know what I'm talking about. They have enough bullets in their shoes, that's shots that they're gonna put on goal. And I think if you have the right team to work with them, when we get there, we will do it.
That's a great shot, you know, Mikey. It's a great
Yeah.
shot, and I think that's something that's the kind of hymn sheet that all three of us here are definitely singing from. I think it's a really interesting point, as I said, regarding coaching standards in Jamaica. It was particularly interesting to me from an armchair fan standpoint to look at the situation regards the reggae girls in that Vin Blaine was at the helm as the Jamaican reggae girls played for and won for, culminating in their decider against the Dominican Republic. Played for, won for, and yet there was a little unease, and the unease remains. So, as Crystal is saying, it's it's a talented pool that we have, and having a coach and a team around, a coaching staff that is willing, able, and ready to produce what is required to get the team playing to their potential is going to be really interesting, and that's what's actually on the table at the moment. So as I said, high standards. There are some teams and Jamaica are one of them where the standard, the bar is sufficiently high. We've got international teams around the world that if you don't qualify, if you don't win certain things, that is deemed as a failure. The Brazilian manager is currently our men's manager, Chichi, Tite, pronounced Chichi. He is he stayed on for a second World Cup. 2018 had a very good team, got to the quarterfinal, lost to Belgium in one of the games of the tournament. And in many people's eyes, or some people's eyes rather, he had to go. The fact that he remained was a rarity because usually managers go in a position such as the Brazilian manager was. Because of his high standing in the game and his regard amongst the players and his belief, he stayed on, and he's currently led them to a fantastic World Cup qualifying campaign, and they go into the Qatar 2022 tournament in November and December as one of their favorites. Usually though, a manager is off, and for the majority of teams, if you don't qualify, you're off, particularly the top teams. And this situation that the reggae girls find themselves in is one that it's not one I would deal with lightly, and I'm sure the fans, and I know the fans as well as those in the game know, including probably Vin himself, that it's a big decision, high stakes, as Crystal pointed out, and she was there. 2019, what an occasion! She was there as she witnessed the reggae girls, at the World Cup. The last time we tasted World Cup success was 1998. Before that, with the Reggae Boys. So that 2019 occasion, was absolutely fantastic, and only Crystal would appreciate that. Mikey, did you get a chance to go in 2019, or were you watching on the TV?
No, I was there. I was there in spirit, but I was watching on the TV.
All right.
You didn't see me in the stands?
Well.
It's a big, but big size, a big boy.
Again, them dopey conqueror business, you know.
Yeah.
You say you was there in spirit, but listen, it was a lovable spirit. I know, no doubt that was there. So full respect for that. Bless you, Crystal, bless you. It's all good. It's all good. Yes, Captain Mikey.
No, listen to this. I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
tell you when you're going to have if this is what you're going to see where if the girls going to have a problem come the playoffs. If the Jamaica JFF don't get them at least 2 practice games.
You're being nice. You're saying 2. I was going for 3. You need at least 3.
I know JFF. Three is a stretch.
3 is me taking liberties,
Right.
isn't it?
Three games would be beautiful. So all the girls will get a run.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have practice games, if we don't have no practice games before the qualifiers, forget it.
It's going to be.
It's going to be the same. We're going to play our first practice game when we play in Mexico. So
that would be extremely difficult. Preparation is a big thing. Preparation has been a big thing in key. Yes, absolutely, Chris.
Listen,
the Jamaican.
Listen, the Jamaica JFF
game,
right? They're not.
Yes, sir.
They don't. To me, they're not thinking out of the box. They just sit there and hoping for games to pop up and things to happen. You can wish
and
things.
That's an indictment. That's an indictment in itself. You could say, because Crystal is right to laugh. Outside the box, is that really outside the box thinking? A couple of games, 2, 3, 4 games practice prior to these important things. I'm gonna read a comment from Kush, if I may. But I'm gonna let you speak first. Go ahead.
Richard, you say wishing for things to happen, and wishing things is like when Christmas come. Like when Christmas come this year, I'm expecting to get a Rolls Royce from Richard and a Bentley from Crystal for my Christmas gift. You can send it on the QE2. They come to Manhattan every Tuesday, I think. So just send my car for me when Christmas come, okay? Now, the JFF don't think outside the box. They should line up these games and announce them already. And even have one at home so that the girls get a send-off before they go to Mexico.
Mikey,
we don't want to play Grenada, we don't want to play Cuba. We want to play like a South American team, which is not too far away from us.
Mikey, this could be something that could be in the pipeline, but we are preaching to, I'm not going to say the converted, but we know that the fans out there, those in the know, Crystal, yourself as seasoned football fans, know that the importance of preparation and scheduling and thinking ahead is absolutely key in preparation. Can I just read a comment from Kush before it goes away?
Yes.
An interesting point. Good night, Kush, CUSH. Playing for a club that has been training, practicing, and playing games together for weeks and months. I think Kush is alluding and suggesting that the difference between playing for a club that has been united, playing, practicing, know each other's game inside out, is slightly different from playing for your country. And in the case of Jamaica,
that's a cop out.
No.
That's always going to be the case.
Let me finish.
That's
if I may finish. Can I finish, Crystal? I just wanted to make the point that I'm going to agree with what you're saying. I think the point that Kush is saying, and I don't know which side of the fence he's going on, but I think because of the caliber of the players that we have, I think they deserve the preparation. So we're not going to cop out here. It's important for international teams to get games in. So as Mikey is saying, and as Crystal is saying, of course the teams need preparation. It's not a case of just turning up, because international teams don't have the opportunity to play month in, month out regularly. When they come together, time is precious, training time is precious, and game time playing is precious. So, we can do themselves justice, but we need the system and structure around them, including game time, to make sure that we give ourselves the best chance of performing against other tough teams. So, again, JFF, I hope something should be ready to go. Boris Johnson said, you've got something, baked, a good to go product. Well, in this situation, we need preparation time because these are professional players and they deserve to be treated professionally. Crystal.
But that's why I don't necessarily agree with the quality of the players, because I think irrespective of whether you're dealing with world class players or not, you touched on something about professionalism. That's exactly what it is. It's about professionalism. We could be dealing with players of a lower caliber. We could be dealing with players who are mediocre. We could be dealing with players who are world class, 10 out of 10. It does not matter. It's about being professional. So again, I see your point there, Kush, but it really and truly doesn't matter, because you're always going to have more game time at club level than you do at international level for every single nation there is. So for me, that's just an excuse to say, well, actually, no, because that's just the way it is. It's always going to be like that. It's about us trying to utilize our assets, trying to maximize our potential. How do we maximize our potential? I actually thought that maybe they might be coming to England, and I thought that they would be smart enough, they as in JFF would be smart enough to utilize their contacts. And I went a step further and I said, well, considering there is a direct relationship there with Queen's Park Rangers where Mr. Paul Hall is concerned, why are you not knocking on Queen's Park Rangers' door and saying, what can we do here? Is it possible to rent Queen's Park Rangers for a set fee? What can you do for us in return? Whatever that favor might looks like. Could you potentially see yourself going back to Nottingham Forest and facing off against a team in Nottingham Forest? So yes, it's a bit disappointing to see that there's no message there coming out from their camp in regards to training camps next month.
And what you're saying there, Crystal, sounds so good, so sober, so reasonable. I'd like to think practicable, and these are the kind of ideas and thinking processes that we want for our reggae girls. That absolutely chimes into what is the necessary ingredients towards a successful team and doing it justice. Mikey, I know you want to say something. Step up, sir.
No, I want to say that we're going into penalty kicks right now. So
Mr. Mike, yeah, you got 10 minutes, because I know you're pressing me tonight. I want to give you guys a flavor of what I experienced at Wembley, and look at that, I'm getting a beating for it. But
well, you know what happened? Sometimes we have to get beaten sometimes to learn things. Eh?
You know what it is? I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't.
I'm sure we all have Jamaican parentage, and when you're a little kid and you're whining and go on and say, if you go and cry, I'll give you something to cry for. When you cry already, so what am I going to cry for?
I'm pretty sure if I ended this one at 45 minutes, Mikey would be beating me behind the scenes.
Yeah,
definitely. Mikey would have said the conversation just to get warm up, and you cut off the conversation. So I'm not come back by Tallawah TV. That's what Mikey would have said.
No, listen. No, I can't leave you out. You know why? I can't leave you out.
Why?
Every day I come on Tallawah TV, make my day better. So.
Oh, thank you.
So, you understand me? And
have you got the knife
steady.
there?
You know something? May I go for my Harry?
The knife and
Harry
butter,
upstairs.
Him need the knife and butter and the bread, because this man's him spread like nobody I know. Oh, listen,
listen, Richard, when I butter bread, we butter it on our 6 sides,
Cheese and peace. I believe you. Oh, God knows I believe. Mister, your butter is on strong with Crystal,
Yeah,
easy,
it got down very easy. It slide down very easy. You don't have to chew it.
At you.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to run.
You see how we just leave us like that, Richard?
No.
His belly's full. His belly's full now. Yeah.
Rich and sweet.
Richard,
remember me tell you.
Wait a second, Crystal. When you see me the next time, you want to see me in a house, or you want to see me on the street?
In a house. I hear that.
In a house.
Crystal, you see,
sir.
You're my boss on the show, but we have a bigger boss I have to report to.
Mercy, please. Yeah, man.
All right.
Man, you don't know.
Unless you have a room that you can put me up. I mean, put me up. And yes, there's so far. We can walk from here or swim. You have to take a fly.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Mikey needs a 5-minute comedy slot, He needs a little 5-minute comedy slot, Right, yes.
Richard,
man,
nice
me laugh.
talking
Yes,
to
sir.
you tonight. And Crystal, love you, baby.
Love you too, Mr. Ballin.
All right, bye-bye.
I
Cheers.
raise a glass, Mikey.
All
Peace,
right.
peace and
Cool.
love, sir.
Cool. Cool.
Respect.
Actually
Crystal,
said
always a
something.
pleasure.
Always a pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Stevens. As ever, thank you for giving me your time. Definitely appreciate it. Guys, in the comment section, we've got about 7 more minutes to go. And then we're going to have to love you and leave you until another time. Actually says broke people can't rent. That's the reason why you have good relations with people. That is the reason why you have good relations with people.
Good
I might
point.
go to yeah, I might go to Mr. Stevens' house and see that he's got the finest cutlery or the finest china I've ever come across, and I happen to be doing a dinner party, and my china isn't so bright, and I might say, Richard, do you mind if I borrow some of your finest china for my dinner guest? Richard is going to say yes because we have good relationship. We have good relation. So that's why I take it back to Queen's Park Rangers. If you have good relationship with people, anything is feasible for a cut price, even if it means you are paying in installments. Anything is feasible. You might want to look back at Nottingham Forest. We've been to Nottingham Forest before. Maybe you want to go back to Nottingham Forest. The reason why I'm saying England, apart from the fact that it will be selfish because I want to see the reggae girls play, I think it'll be an easy or more feasible commute because you have a couple of the girls here in Europe and obviously elsewhere in the States and in Canada. So
In
I think
Scotland.
it'll be yeah, I think it'll be feasible to get it done. But yeah, I understand what you're saying there. Hot chili, that broke people can't rent. But if you're broke, you need to make sure you have good relationship with people. That's the only way you're going to get a little added boost to elevate yourself. How does a broke person get a job? You probably get a job because someone recommended you. And the only reason why they recommended you is because you have good relationship. You might be a painter that don't have a good qualification, but because you have good relationships, someone tells you, come and paint my house. And when you're done painting my house, go and paint next door house, and so on and so on and so on. So it's always a good idea to have good relationship with people. You don't necessarily have to think the highest of them, but as long as there is respect there and there is good communication there, then you can't go wrong. No one's gonna hate you for it because you have a difference in opinion, but it's all about having good communication skills and having good relationships with
Relationship.
people. That's what it's all about.
Beautifully said, Crystal. Beautifully said. You know, as you were speaking, I was just I was just reflecting on your introduction.
I had a which introduction? I had an introduction.
Well, you're spot on because you had more than one introduction. You named, you almost ran out of fingers. You named the number and individuals, the individuals that have won trophies and won accolades, including
Yeah,
runners-up medals and titles. And
yeah.
I tell you, the Reggae Girls. Uh, can I say, let's not, viewers and subscribers, take things for granted. The Reggae Girls. Tiffany Cameron win a trophy? Was she a runner-up?
She won
I
the
thought
I'm
I thought she
hurt by
saw.
that, Mr. Stevens. You have not been paying attention to my content, Mr. Stevens.
There were
I
so many.
I
No, there were
I don't think
so
I
many
don't think
names.
I'll be
So
able to
many
sleep
names.
tonight. I am so hurt. I don't think I can sleep tonight. But yes, Tiffany Cameron won the Hungarian Cup alongside Alika Keane, and the runners-up medal went to Marlo
Marlo
Sweatman.
Sweatman, yes, that's
Yes.
I remember Marlo Sweatman's name, and yes, indeed, quite so.
Yeah.
Well, Tiffany, Bunny, Kyla McCoy, yeah, Kayla McCoy. Hey, Swaby, we have winners on the international footballing stage, where
Do you know what
women's
it is?
football
Do you
is
know what
on
it
the
is, Richard?
rise, and Jamaica's flag is flying in the shape of these footballers, and isn't it wonderful? Crystal, yes, go ahead.
You know what it is. You guys in the comment section. Um,
You're ahead of me. I'm not looking at the moment. I,
I,
I
I
was
don't
gonna say
even I
hi to
wouldn't
her
even
Hot Chili because Hot
encourage
Chili's
you
always
to.
okay. Okay, Hot Chili's always around. So Hot Chili, thanks for
Yeah,
all your comments. But
I'm
go
not
ahead,
here
Crystal.
to draw anyone out, guys. I'm not here to draw anyone out with regards to their position and whatever position they have within the Jamaica Football Federation, and so on. But from the list that I named earlier on, so if we could go across that list again, so we can look at the, again, dating back from some weeks ago. If we look at the Continental Cup, we had Bunny, right? If we look at the runners up on that occasion, it was Drew. Look at the Hungarian Cup. It was Cameron and Keane for the winners. Runners up was Marlowe Sweatman. The Scottish Premier League, it was Kayla McCoy and Chantel Swaby. Undefeated. The league title in England, top division league title in England, it went to Drew Spence. At the time, the championship where women's football is concerned went to Jade Bailey and Liverpool. We now know that Jade Bailey is moving on from Liverpool, similar to Drew Spence and Chelsea. So if you look at those names that we've named there, we've looked at forwards, we've looked at midfielders, we've also looked at defense. So basically, we've covered all the areas of the outfield players. We've got all the areas. Dare I say, on unlock in terms of what they're doing there at club level, right? Because like if you look at the forward, you're looking at Tiffany, you're looking at Bunny, you're looking at in midfield, you're looking at Drew Spence. You could potentially play Kayla McCoy in midfield, although she's not naturally a midfielder. She's played there and she looked well in midfield. And then obviously you're looking at defense. Right, you're looking at Keane, you're looking at Chantel Swaby. So you've got different grounds covered, right? So it's about you building around these players who have won stuff at the at the club level and saying, okay, where do we go from here? Because you can't have 8+ players within recent weeks winning things at club level with their respective clubs and them not tasting success at the national team because they're on a high right now. There's no two ways about it. You don't even need to ask them. They must be on a high. They're winning things. And it's just not one or two of them that's winning things. It's a collective of them that's winning things. And you know what happens when players link up? They start talking about their success. Is natural. It's natural for them to talk about their success. So they're at a level where elitism should be their top priority. If it isn't already, elitism would be their top priority. So if you're not on that same level of elitism, then subsequently what that means is you're not going to succeed. You're not going to succeed. So that's what I'm saying. With the number of trophies that these ladies have won in recent weeks, be winners up, and there's still more trophies to be won. Let's make that clear. There's still more trophies to be won. So essentially, you could have a starting 11 where every single position a player has won something. They've either won something or they've etched their names in their history book for their club. Take Yasmin Jameson, for example. Yasmin Jameson of Simcoe County Rovers. She became the first goalkeeper in the club history to keep a clean sheet. What do you say to a Yasmin Jameson? Sorry, love, you're not going to the World Cup. She's on a high in Canada because she's on an upward positive trajectory, just like Bunny and Drew in England, just like the girls over in Hungary where Alika Keane, Tiffany Cameron, and Marla Sweatman are concerned. They're all on a high right now. So that's why I'm saying when you bring all that success over to the national side, you have to win. You have to win, and the reason why you have to win is because it happened before. It happened before. Yes, it was a different coaching setup. That probably makes it even worse because you want to do better than the other guy. You must want to do better than the other guy. The other guy being Mr. Hugh Menzies. You must want to do better than him. It's a given. He created history in 2018. Yes, the odds were definitely stacked against us. No one thought we could do it, but we did it. Now it's even bigger odds. You can argue and say perhaps this time round we have things harder because we're not going for it the first time, we're going for it the second time, where there's so many distractions out in the open and so on. So you must want to do better than the coach that took us to our first ever women's World Cup. So this is why I'm saying that if things don't go according to plan, surely you're looking at and saying that there's going to be a shake-up, just like how you saw in the men's team, where Tapper was pretty much pushed to the side. Be it either they whispered in his ear and said, thank you for your service, you can now step aside. right? But because they did that with the men's team and the men's team haven't tasted World Cup success in almost 3 decades, surely you would expect that they're probably going to be testing the waters to potentially do something similar for a team that has tasted World Cup in recent years, right? So
Very
I don't know what
persuasive
their
argument.
plans are, but this is why I'm saying when you do certain things, if you want people to take you serious as professionals, you have to repeat that. You don't just do things reactionary and to silence the crowd, but because you made a move where you got rid of Mr. Tapper Whitmore, because he wasn't going to qualify for the World Cup, perhaps you couldn't take the noise no more. When you're looking at the women's team, what are you going to do if we do not qualify? Because it is a if. I can't see into the future. I'm going to say that yes, we can qualify. But me saying we can qualify and us qualifying is something completely different. So what I'm saying is if you have a team that is more used to success as a collective where the reggae girls is concerned, surely you're expecting more of the same in terms of direction to say, okay, it's not working where the reggae girls is concerned. I don't want them to not qualify. I want them to qualify. But I'm just saying that if that is the case, then surely you have to expect some sort of shake-up. I don't know what that shake-up looks like, but you have to expect some sort of internal shake-up. As I said, the internal shake-up might be Mr. Blaine looking to the left of him, looking to the right of him, looking ahead or looking behind and saying, you know what? Sorry, but you're not what I'm looking for. You're not going to take us to the next level. Doesn't necessarily have to be Mr. Vin Blaine saying, I'm walking away. That's not, shake up can mean a number of things. Shake up can just mean that I'm ushering my coaching staff and bringing in fresh faces and so on, right? So that's the reason why I asked that question because I wanted to know what you guys are thinking of.
I hear you, Crystal. I hear you. Are you checking out the section? Good night, Neo. Neo Sovereign in the house. Neo, long time no see.
I think I might have seen Neo. Who is Neo? Are you familiar with Neo? I've seen him around before.
Neo is a top flight lawyer. He's a lawyer, solicitor lawyer. He's a very suave, sophisticated, and well spoken gent who appears regularly on the likes of
Oh, he's a
Coach's
lawyer.
Desk.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. And he has many insights, much of which I agree with. Good night, Neo. Good night. I salute a gentleman and a scholar. Yeah, this reggae girl situation, it's an interesting one. We've got a week coming up. Of course, the qualifiers are going to be continuing, and I'm sure there's going to be some ups and downs, but hopefully there's going to be some news one way or the other. But Crystal, you've made an impassioned plea and a very strong case, and a very excellent question that you've asked there to get
It
people
has to be
thinking.
art, Rich. It has, because when I was coming home from Wembley today, I was like, this is great. But if you're coaching these girls at international level, that's a headache for you. That is a headache. You're happy for them. I trust that, the gaffer, Mr. Vin Blaine, and his coaching staff are happy for them. But this just means that you're on your 10 toes. You can't afford to slip up because people are going to be saying, how is it that these girls are winning from the attackers to the midfielders to the defense? Like I said, Yasmin Jameson creating history in Canada. But when you look at them at the international level, it's unrecognizable. That is a headache. So
And
yes,
and I,
I know they're happy. I know that Mr. Blaine and his coaching staff. You must be happy to see your girls win at club level. But in also, you're probably looking and thinking, wow, we have to perform now. Over to you, because the club have done their part. The club are now some of them are now going on holiday. They've done their part. Over to you. What can you do with this crop of talent?
And of course, we've got the likes, as Mikey Balling said, Jody Brown, who picked up silverware earlier in the year. We've got Trudy Carter, who's one of my favorites, the X Factor, Trudy Carter. We've got Miss Sampson. Is Miss Sampson with Charlton? Is she on Charlton's books?
Yeah,
Yes.
she.
So we've got a lot of professionals. Bless you, bless you, bless you,
Thank you.
bless you, Christian. You're welcome. And we, our keepers, Rebecca Spence. You know, Spurs goalkeeper. We're not leaving anyone out. You know, we've got a terrific crop of talent there. Rebecca, we've got outstanding backup in the goal, and of course we've got Yasmin Jameson. So 3 terrific keepers, and yeah, we've got a lot of talent there. A lot of talent. It's a wonderful question, and as I said, it's been a question, Crystal, that has really been debated hotly. I've been on various platforms listening and participating, where the issue of the caliber of coaching that Jamaica is producing and matching up to the quality of the charges, the players has come into sharp focus, and it's not going to be an overnight thing. But wherever change can be made, where adjustments can be made, I implore the JFF and those in higher authority to reflect and really not only stop at reflecting, but to actually practically take action. So the arranging of friendly matches, competitive matches, is something that, you know, should be there from the get-go. Maybe something is in the pipeline that we don't know about. I don't know how the land lies at the moment, but some of the things you were talking about, Crystal, it should be bread and butter. And it really is an interesting situation. There's so much riding on this World Cup qualifying campaign, but but beyond that,
Like I said,
we've got a terrific crop of players.
the
We really
trigger,
want the best.
yeah, go on, Richard.
No, go ahead, Crystal. I've made the case there. Terrific crop of players. We know that the Vex subject of coaching and quality of coaching is coming to sharp play. Vin Blaine is in such a scenario at the moment, and his coaching staff, and I just hope that things can be worked out for the best for Jamaica as a nation and Jamaica as a team, because we want the best for them and we want the best for all those who are working around them, so they can all have a feel good factor. Crystal.
Yeah, I've kind of lost train of thought, but yeah, like I said, if you pull the trigger where the men's team is concerned, and they are the least to have tasted success at the highest level, then surely you would expect more of the same where the women's team is concerned. So you can argue and you can debate whether it was right for them to get rid of Tapper at the time, but because you've done that, people now will be looking at you and saying, "Are you going to do the same with the coaching setup there, where the Reggae Girls is concerned?" Because what you did there, JFF, is you've basically been telling people that you have a standard. Now we have to say, are you going to live up to your own standard? Because your standard was that Tapper at the time couldn't take the team to the World Cup. So now we're saying that if there is a chance where we're looking like we're not going to qualify where the women's team is concerned, is where is your standard for women's football? Where do you see women's football? Where do you put them on your list of priorities and standard? So it's good that you've set standard where the men's team is concerned, but now people be looking and saying, do you have standards of your own where the women's team is concerned? Nobody is asking for anyone to leave their job. Nobody's asking for anyone to be sacked. But what I am saying is there needs to be things that is definitely thought out and thought through, because you've set a level of standard and expectation where the male Reggae Boys team is concerned.
For sure. I'm just looking in the comment section again, just casting my eye over. It's funny, I mentioned Neo, a scholar. I salute. He's Neo, no problem at all. It's always a pleasure. And I looked below at a follow-up comment which said, really praying the girls can carry us over the finish line again. And lo and behold, who was that from? I looked, it was none other than Neo again. Many of the things that he says, I sing from the same hymn sheet. So Neo, there's this proof in the pudding. The man is a consistent gentleman. Is it consistency that you're talking about, Crystal? Consistency in decision making? Would that be fair to say, or not? Because I think the point you made about Tapper, having a decision made regarding Tapper at the time it was made, that was an interesting decision. And having made the decision, I think the Reggae Girls are faced with a scenario where if their situation is taken just as seriously, it could be a case, well, tough decisions one way or the other need to be made. I'm just open and waiting to see how the land lies going forward. But Crystal, your thoughts?
You mean they've said that they've made a decision, and their decision is they're sticking with their current gaffer, the current gaffer, be it Mr. Vin Blaine. I think where you go from there is what is the next step. If you work for, if you're my boss and I come to you and I say that I have a problem, or not I have a problem, there is an internal issue there where professionalism is concerned. I'm not saying to you, I want you to go and sack the next person that's working to the left of me or the right of me. I'm expecting you to then iron out those unprofessional issues that we talk about. Whether we agree with them or disagree with them, it's your job as the leader of the ship, the captain of the ship, to iron out those professional issues that you refer to, or the professional issues that were highlighted. Because, like I said, each of these girls are used to playing at the highest level, right, where professionalism is a must. Professionalism is a must. You don't start for certain clubs in the WSL or be part of this, not even start, but be part of their squad, match day squad, if you don't have an element of professionalism about you. They don't care who you are. If you're not a professional, you're getting dropped like bad habit and nobody will hear from you again. It's as simple as that. So there's a level of professionalism there where a number of the girls are concerned. And I don't think anyone can doubt whether the girls are professional, because, I've been saying this on other live streams that, they are professional. They are their sister's keeper. When you look up in Scotland where Chantel Swaby is concerned, she's in that team week in, week out. So no one can say that she's not a professional. She must be a professional if Rangers believe in her. Bonnie must be a professional. Drew must be a professional, irrespective of whether she's starting week in, week out, or started week in, week out for Chelsea or not. Because, like I said, in football, no one really cares about your name. No one cares about your name. It's just
Got to
about
have the right attitude as well.
You have to have the right attitude. No player, no coach is going to want you around if you don't have the right attitude. So that's what I'm saying. If there is a case there where people are talking about the professionalism, one has to be open to constructive criticism. Okay, so you're saying that I am not professional. Why am I not professional? What can I do better? It's a bit like me and you, Richard. Like, more time when I finish off my live stream, I call you up and I say, Richard, how did the live stream go? What can I do better? Because I'm not doing these live streams thinking I am the best at what I do. I'm not the best at what I do. I'm going to make mistakes. Making the mistake isn't the issue. If you don't make mistakes, it's because you're too comfortable. So when you make a mistake, that's absolutely fine. The issue is the repeated mistake. The repeated mistake turns into repeated behavior. And if you're repeating the same behavior that you've been warned about, it kind of says that you have a little bit of an ego about you, that you don't care, that you are the big I am, that you're the ruler of all ruler, that but nobody can tell you nothing. You are the big man, or whoever it may be. You are the main guy. You're the protagonist. You write the end of the play. No, the writers don't write it for you. You write your script for yourself. It can't be like that, because football is a team's game. Football is a team's game.
You're speaking. You're speaking, Crystal.
So whether you're from the federation or the coach or the girls, like, football is a team's game. The moment you see someone doing one thing that solely benefits them, you're going to upset people. So it's important for us to and also in the 12th man section as well, listen when people are talking and stop running off with your own stories and making up nonsense. Actually listen to what people are saying and stop putting out agendas out there, because you do damage to the team. The only one who would end up suffering because of some of the nonsense that some of you guys are putting out there is the team. It is the team. It's not you lot, because sometimes you guys come out and you say certain things and you go to your bed happy as Larry, but you've tainted someone's image. You've tainted someone's image. And oftentimes when you taint a person's image, it is difficult for them to rectify that, because people are a little bit like sheep. They're quick to believe whatever, especially when it's negative. I don't know what it is about human beings, but human beings love negativity. So when you're speaking about the girls, make sure that you're speaking with accuracy. Make sure that some of the stuff that you're saying is accurate, that you're not tainting the girl's image, because that is dangerous territory that some of you are toying with. So like I said, everybody knows football is a team's game. It's not about me, 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 me. Once you make it about me, 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 you've lost. You've completely lost. You might not lose right away, but in the long run, you will lose. There's no two ways about that, because nobody wants somebody who is selfish, or nobody wants someone who thinks that they are bigger than whatever the project is. Nobody wants that at all.
Well said, Crystal. Good night, Prince. Good night, Prince. Prince in the house. Big up, Crystal. Big up, Rich Bo. Salute, Prince. Salute. The man who
I'm
knows
not
his football.
I've not spoken. Big up yourself, Prince. I've not spoken to the gaffer, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if he's leaving or staying. In the last conversation we had, which you guys heard the interview, he said at the time that he was 50-50. I don't think that the girls have an issue with Vin Blaine. So if he was to leave, that's a decision that he would obviously make for himself. I can't see any girls saying that they're not going to work with them, work with him, work with the gaffer, because, like I said, the girls are the ultimate professional. And it's not necessarily about working for Vin Blaine, it's about working for Jamaica. It's the colors. It's the colors that matter to the girls. It's the black, green, and gold that matters to the girls. So that's why I'm saying I don't think that they have an issue with the gaffer himself. But there's clearly issues there, so they need to figure out whatever the issue is. They need to come together as a team, be it on Zoom meeting or whatever, and people just need to be real with each other. Some of the times when I'm having internal issues where work is concerned, it's about being blatantly honest. That is just about being blatantly honest, where you look at someone and say, I'm going to be honest with you. And when you say you're going to be honest with someone, feelings are going to get hurt. Feelings are supposed to get hurt, not to hurt you, but to make you better. It's supposed to make you better, to make you realize that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. Like I said, if you make a mistake, that's not an issue. It's when you repeat the same behavior over and over again. That's when you become toxic, because it's just like, I've told you not to do something, or I've asked you politely not to do something, and you keep on doing it. Do you keep on doing it because it's whatever I say falls on deaf ears? Is it tone deaf, or is it a case that you don't rate me as an individual? Do you not rate me to take in the constructive feedbacks and make amends? Nobody's asking you to change, people are asking you to tweak, make amends. So yeah, like I said, I can't see any girl there in the Reggae Girls senior team saying that they don't want to work with the gaffer, or they're not. I definitely can't see no girls saying that they're not showing up. Can almost bank my last pound that they're not saying they're not showing up to represent their country. They will show up to represent their country. I can almost guarantee that. I'll be surprised if they don't show up to represent their country. They will show up to represent their country. So that should tell you everything you need to know. That is what you call professionals. Professionals, because what are you going to do really and truly? We can all sit here and talk about getting the U20s or the U17s. Really, we need the senior team to show up. We 100% need the senior team to show up. So I think the senior team, they will show up, the senior Reggae Girls, that is. So I'm not worried about that. It's just for the girls. And I wouldn't say JFF. I can't see JFF taking part in this, but maybe the gaffer and the coaching staff having a heart-to-heart conversation. Sometimes those are the best and worst conversations to have as human beings.
I think it's really interesting what you said, Crystal. And I think it's worth reiterating. Reputation in life counts for an awful lot. And it's interesting. I think it's a point well made where some fans out there may feel or have heard that Reggae Girls have said or insinuated certain things. But when speculation comes into the equation, you've got to be so careful. I've been very careful in terms of speaking. Sometimes less is more, and unless you've heard it from
Absolutely.
the proverbial horse's mouth, don't go there, because reputations can be sullied, they can be tainted, and as you said, negative words and thoughts carry a lot of weight, and it takes a lot of good positive energy and positive comments to balance the scales up sometimes, because
Yeah.
you know how strong it goes on. You go to a restaurant and the food's not to one's taste. You go and criticize and say, oh, that food wasn't on. It goes a long way, and it can get spread around very quickly. You make a nice comment about the food and enjoying the food, enjoying the food at a restaurant, and it doesn't go around like hot fire as readily So we've got to be very, very careful in terms of what we say, why we're saying it, where we say it. And sometimes if you're not sure, keep it zipped.
You know what it is, Richard. I think the 12th man, they have a habit of realizing that this is the girls' 9 to 5. It is literally their work that you're toying with. So when you're coming out and saying the reggae girls want this or the reggae girls don't want this or the reggae girls are this, like, did they really say that? Or are you just being a sheep and following? Like I said, a lot of people, they tend to follow trend, especially if it's negative. Did the reggae girls say whatever it is you say that they are saying? If they didn't say it, put a sock in it. Stop carrying on with the negativity for argument's sake, because it's not a good look. Because when you go off to your bed at night and you go and lay down, that image that you've painted of the reggae girls is lasting with them. It's them that have to face the brunt. If there is them that have to face the criticism, who knows when they're walking around in their everyday lives, people probably speaking hateful things towards them. People probably start speaking hateful things towards them because of what's being said. So, unless you absolutely know, and there is something concerning there where a lot of people have been saying, this is what the reggae girls want. How do you know that's what the reggae girls want? They don't speak. These girls don't speak to the media. So unless you guys have some sixth, seventh sense that I'm not aware of, how do you know that the reggae girls are saying what you're saying? The reggae girls are saying they don't speak to the media at all. They didn't speak to the media in the last World Cup campaign, and they're still not speaking to the media, and they shouldn't speak to the media. They should keep things internal between themselves, is why I say it's a good idea if they get an advisor. Let your advisor tell you what to do. Go with your advisor decision. And sometimes it's about getting somebody who perhaps have no connection to football, but his experience in conflict resolutions, but don't necessarily has to have a footballing brain. So therefore, they're not going to be like, oh, this is who this person is. They don't know. They walk past that person and not even know that they're standing next to a superstar. So that those are probably better people to go and get advice from. But again, unless you know for a fact that a reggae girl have told you yourself that this is what is going on, do not taint the girl's image for argument's sake or for banter or for just having a conversation. You want to have a conversation, talk to yourself, but don't respond. But do not go on social media and say that the reggae girls are advocating for this, especially when things are damning. Do not go on social media and say that the reggae girls are advocating for stuff that is damning from a moral perspective, because you're damaging their character, you're damaging their brand. So stop doing it, because it's not nice. It is not nice what some of you are doing, and I've told you on my last live stream to stop doing certain things, and you guys are not listening. Everything just falls on deaf ears. If you guys are not hearing what you want to hear, you create your own narrative. This is people's livelihood that you're playing with. Like I said, yes, it is a game of football to you guys. It is sports, but to them, this is their 9 to 5. This is their 9 to 5 that you guys are playing with. You're playing with someone's bread and butter. You're playing with someone's career. You're not only playing with someone's image and their career now, but you're also playing with their retirement as well, because of the stuff that you guys are attaching to their name. So you need to stop.
I
I
think
don't
my
know.
phone.
Actually, maybe you're right. Maybe they can read minds. I don't want to read no
Maybe.
minds.
No, no,
Maybe they
no,
can
no.
read minds. I'm not
No,
interested
no.
in reading minds.
No, no, no. We're not mind readers. I think someone's contacted me to say they agree with what you're saying. So, Crystal,
Really?
yeah, my phone's going off, and I'm sure that people are watching the comments. Listen, we need to do Crystal and myself justice, and yourself as commenters, because you are adding to the conversation. If you are just listening, we salute. Please listen and hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't, but hit the like button just to say respects to Crystal for coming on the platform, giving us the full time and extra time and penalty shootout by way of her time, because it was only meant to be 3/4 of an hour. But we've dived in with Mikey Ballin and myself and good Crystal Davis, as well as your good selves from Neo, Taja, Prince, Hot Chili, Rochelle, and many more out there. I know time has been well spent, but we salute the reggae girls, Bunny and Drew, and all those who won trophies and all those who have not won trophies, but they have had fine seasons. They've stayed relatively injury-free. For those who have been injured and are on the road to recovery, we wish them all well. And I think one of the things I'm going to be taking away from this evening's session, post the congratulations to all those led by Bunny and Drew in the FA Cup final that was played yesterday, our time, is that reputation, Crystal, means
Reputation
so much.
is pivotal.
Absolutely, that is
Pivotal.
something that we can't underestimate. That I think it's such a
Me
crucial
and you have even
point.
spoken about that off the record, like nothing to
yes.
do with the girls, nothing to do with the girls, nothing to do with the coaching staff, just reputation for us as individuals and some of the stuff that we don't want associated with our names and our brands. So reputation is everything.
Absolutely.
There are some people out there, guys, that don't do homework. So if you come on your any live stream or any comment section and say this reggae girl said this or this reggae girl is advocating for that, there are people in this room who don't do their homework who will believe you. That is causing damage. It's different if you're saying something positive. If it's positive, then that's great for the reggae girl. But if you're saying something that is damning and could taint their image, you're literally damaging their brand. And it might affect them in their current playing career and more so after they hang up their boots. And that's even more concerning, to think that someone can make up a lie about you as a player or as a collective and it damages your playing career and your post-playing career. Sometimes you have to think about some of the stuff that you're saying. You really have to think about some of the stuff that you're saying. Like I said, for some of you guys, it's just a game. It is not a game. It's not a game. It's their livelihood. It's their bread and butter. But I'm gonna be talking about some more on this in the next coming days, because there's plenty more that I want to talk about, because I kind of feel like as a community, as the 12th man, we just don't get it. Just don't get it enough. So maybe I'm gonna have to keep beating that drum to let you guys know that be mindful of your words and what you're saying about the players. We need the players. I've said from this whole thing came to light, it's not about the players. We love the players. It's not about the players. The biggest issue that I had with all of this is the person giving that letter over to the media. I can bank my last pound and say that it wasn't a reggae girl that did that. Wasn't a reggae girl that did that. So that is the issue. The biggest issue from all of this is why we're here talking at length, is the person who handed the letter over to the media. If anything, that's what we should be talking about as a collective. Everybody seems to be forgetting the one toxic issue here, which is that person. As far as I'm concerned, that person should be investigated. That person should be fired, because the girls did something in confidence. Confidentiality, privacy and confidentiality. You break that, you break the confidentiality and the privacy of your team. I'm sorry, but that has to be investigated, and that's a disciplinary action is keeping it nice and sweet. But for me, that's like a straight red card. That's a straight red card, and you don't get to come back, because once they throw you under the bus once, they throw you under the bus again. That's something I believe in. So again, I don't believe for a second that a reggae girl would hand over a letter. These girls don't talk to the media. They would not hand over a letter to a media. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. Every time you guys ask me about the last World Cup campaign, Richard can give evidence. I've always said whatever issues you see happening with the males team, you see it with the women's team. The only difference is the women don't air out their dirty laundry. That's the clear difference there. Remember, guys, they're under one umbrella. The umbrella is the Jamaica Football Federation. So if think about it, football is a male-dominated industry. If the men's team have problems, it's a bit obvious that the women's team are also going to have problems where professionalism and respect is concerned. But like I said, the only difference is from yesteryear, from previous years, the girls never hang out their dirty laundry. So how do you go from not hanging out your dirty laundry to the media knowing your business? Because somebody who should have known better chose not to know better, and that person should be investigated. If I'm the reggae girls, I'm saying I want that investigated. I'll be saying I want that investigated, because you deserve some disciplinary action against you. You breach someone's privacy and confidentiality information, you send it to the media. No, you have to be investigated. You have to be investigated, and right now we don't really have time to do that because we're trying to drum up some positivity and we're trying to qualify for the second consecutive World Cup. But if I was a reggae girl, I'm telling you, I'll be saying, Coach, that needs to be investigated. And that is for me, Vin Blaine as well. That's probably how you actually let the girls know that, yeah, this is us starting on a fresh, clean slate. Let's go and investigate that.
I can see in the comment section here, there's a few comments there. Prince, you know, easy.
I mean, he's onto something, isn't it? Accountability is something that they seem to be allergic to. Nobody wants to be held accountable for nothing
Oh,
at all.
oh boy,
Yeah,
oh
they're
boy, oh boy.
allergic to accountability.
Yeah. Hey, Prince, I saw your comment about Manchester City. No, is it Man City? No. I saw your comment. What was that? Man, what happened on man? It's Chelsea. Who played Chelsea?
You
Oh
know
dear,
what,
Liverpool.
Mr.
Oh
Stevens?
dear. Yes, minute. Yes, Crystal.
This is something that I like because this is why I was saying I'm not in favor of the girls talking to the media. Someone said to me, now that you interviewed Vin Blaine, go and interview the girls. And I said it will be irresponsible of me to interview any reggae girls
For
on
real.
what's going on.
For real.
Anybody who interviews the reggae girls and let it be known that they've interviewed the reggae girls, I'm telling you right now that reggae girl's not getting another call up. You're gonna see mind games being played.
We don't need that.
If you really care about Jamaica and you really care about wanting to go to the next World Cup, you just leave those reggae girls alone. You let them do whatever they need to do at club level, and you allow them to just free up their mind and get themselves ready for June and July. Not everything has to be in the media. Not everything has to be a headline. Not everything has to be about views.
No.
What's more important to you, headlines, views, or your country creating history? I can't sit here and watch headlines when every other nation is in Australia and New Zealand. I want to be watching a match. I don't want to be watching views and headlines. I want to be watching the game. And I want to be watching the game with the reggae girls. So,
Ray Clark said it perfectly. Well said.
yeah, I think Prince is right. I do agree with Prince. You know, accountability, like I said, is something that we're just completely allergic to, aren't we? But if I was Mr. Vin Blaine, I'm getting that investigated because that can't happen again. Once someone throw you under the bus once, they're gonna do it again. And like I said, I'm betting my last pound that it was not a reggae girl that leaked that to the media. It wasn't a reggae girl. So if I'm the gaffer, I'm going around. I'm saying, so who leaked it? Must be leaked. The letter didn't leak itself. What type of letter is that leaking itself to the media of all people? Letter didn't leak itself, so you need to find out who that person is because that person is not clapping for you. That person, you're all in a boat paddling together trying to get to shore, and that person is drilling holes in your boat wanting you all to sink, and you don't have life jacket on your boat. So what do you think is going to happen when you're out on deep waters? That's something to perhaps think about. Mr. Stevens, any final words there before we leave?
Congratulations to the players of Manchester City and of Chelsea, who laid on for a record crowd of over 49,000 people in attendance at Wembley to witness Chelsea lifting the FA Cup 3-2 in extra time. Bunny, Drew, we salute. A wonderful advert for women's football, some terrific play, defense, attack, drama. A pleasure to salute here with you, Crystal, on Tallawah TV. The women's achievements. We've also identified the Reggae Girls' achievements on both sides. We were winners either way. I'm a Brazil fan as well, so in that Manchester City, not Manchester, this is Man City. It was Liverpool versus Chelsea for the men's equivalent. Yes, it was Liverpool versus Chelsea. And as a Brazilian fan, I've got Alisson in goal for Liverpool. We've got Thiago Silva in defense for Chelsea. And you know what? You could toss a coin any which way that coin fell. It was good for me. Alisson conducted himself excellently. Thiago Silva, likewise, man, chased that man like Diaz. You know what I mean? Put in his performance. We're gonna see him at Qatar. You know what I mean? Yeah, Viva the Seleção. But Crystal, you were at Wembley producing images and pictures with that resounding, resonant smile of yours, as Mikey so ably stated. As a matter of fact, and you have enjoyed a fantastic time at Wembley Stadium, and you've also enjoyed fantastic times way back. Well, it's not so much way back, 2019, when the Reggae Girls qualified for the World Cup. And I tell you, we have fans here who would want nothing more than for the Reggae Girls to find themselves in a consecutive World Cup appearance scenario. They're in a difficult group. Their opponents know it. Their opponents know it. You better believe it. And I tell you what, we want to, and we will be 110% behind the Reggae Girls. What we want now, as Neil ably said, is for cool, calm minds and for us to steady the ship, listen to the lessons that have been flagged up, and we need to have the Reggae Girls best prepared as possible because they are professionals. They wear their jerseys, both club and country, with pride. And as you said, Crystal, if we have not heard, it's a life learning lesson, a lifelong lesson. If you have not heard something and you're delving into the realms of speculation and gossip and so and drama, cut it out because it's people's lives, people's reputations at stake. They're in that situation now. We no doubt have been in such a situation in our lives. And just imagine, close your eyes and imagine, how did you feel when someone was saying something about you, which was simply incorrect, untrue, inaccurate? It's not a good feeling. We don't want to be passing on bad experiences and bad feelings to others. And these are people who are representing the nation. I don't want to be the bearer of negative words attributed to people who have not said that. Keep it quiet. Keep it. If you don't have something positive to say, Crystal, thank you.
I definitely would like to echo that. Yeah, it's true. Definitely true what you're saying there, Mr. Stevens. If you don't have something positive to say, if you don't know the facts, um, just be mindful of what you're saying, especially when it's to do with damning allegations and you're coming out and saying that the reggae girls are supporting um, certain conversations or certain supporting certain decisions. Is damning. And just be careful, guys. Be careful. I know sometimes it's easy to make a mistake, but like I said, I've said this so many times before where certain subject matter is concerned. And we're going to get into that subject matter at some point, just not tonight, because I still have some work that I need to get done. I've given you guys more than I initially wanted to give to you. Unfortunately, I have to bring this live stream to an end. If you are just tuning in, well, you've missed the whole entire show. So I hope that you go back and give it a rewatch. If you are just tuning in, though, let me give you a little bit of a recap. And by doing so, I'm going to take off my banner really quickly there. I'm going to go over here. And after that, I'm going to go to Chelsea. And this one reads for itself, doesn't it? Big Drew there. She's saying she wants to hear what you guys are saying. What are you guys saying about Big Drew there and Chelsea back-to-back Women's FA Cup champions? They have retained their title. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, she did so against her compatriot Bunny Shaw at Wembley. Let's remind ourselves that Bunny Shaw and Manchester City defeated Chelsea some weeks back to claim the Continental trophy. So this is Drew Spence signing off on a high after a decade of service, illustrious service there for the Blue Half of London. She walks away with this year's WSL title and the FA Cup in her back pocket. And if we go over to Rangers. This is what it's all about for Kayla McCoy and Chantel Swaby, undefeated in the Scottish Premier League there, and they did so in incredible fashion, beating Celtic 3-1 to complete their season there on a high. Let me read that for you once more. Undefeated. Rangers undefeated in the Scottish Premier League. And also, that obviously means that they are champions. You can read it over there, still undefeated, still champions. So that is what this live stream was about. We've already spoken about a couple of the titles and trophies won elsewhere where the Reggae Girls are concerned. I'm pretty sure you guys are up to speed there where the Reggae Girls are concerned. Just to give you guys a gentle reminder, so far in recent weeks, we've seen Bunny with the Continental Cup. We've also seen the Hungarian Cup go to Tiffany Cameron and Alika Keane, with Marla Sweatman as the winner, as the runners up in Scotland there. Again, just to reiterate, we've seen Chantel Swaby and Kayla McCoy as the reigning champions there up in Scotland. Undefeated season. What a season. What an achievement that is. Complete a season undefeated. Lovely stuff from Kayla McCoy and Chantel Swaby. Big Drew. It's all about Big Drew today. She signs off on her illustrious Chelsea career on a high. 2 trophies in the locker, the WSL title and the Women's FA Cup. What a day at Wembley it was. I still have more to talk about with Wembley, but it is now time for me to go back and look at my paper, the stuff that I need to do for my paper.
Your bread and butter.
My
Your
bre-
bread and butter. Mikey,
my,
am I right?
my bread and butter. You guys, I'm going to be coming back later on. I'm not going to make any promises. I can't say if I'm coming back today because I'm already into my Monday. It is 2 a.m. here in London. You might see me on Tuesday. Who knows? I might get enough sleep after work today and come back maybe after I've rested. You definitely will be seeing me during the week. Before I forget my manners, thank you to you guys there in the comment section, the ultimate 12th man. Thank you for sitting and riding with me. Thank you for hitting that like button. Today, another dream of mine came true. I managed to see the Reggae Girls compete in a FA Cup final at Wembley in
Winner
front
either
of
way.
a record breaking attendance there. Over 49,000 spectators at Wembley. And it got a little bit better there because I managed to speak about the game with Bunny and Big Drew there. It was a relatively short interview, but I definitely appreciate both of them for their time. Give you guys a little bit of something there to maybe have a little chuckle about. I noticed that Bunny and Drew were speaking of each other, and Bunny said, "Congratulations on your FA Cup victory," and Big Drew responded by saying, "Congratulations on your Continental Cup victory." So I thought that that was really sweet. Obviously, they both played each other in both finals. They won a piece. So it just goes to show that the love and that synergy between the Reggae Girls is sincere, as I've said so many times before. Guys, Mr. Ballin and Mr. Richard Stevens, thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time. I hope this isn't the last time I see you on here with Ted there, Mr. Stevens.
Not at all. Not at all. Ted enjoys making his appearances. CC, look out for Ted. In fact, Ted sends you hugs, CC. Hugs from Ted to yourself, CC. Sports Lab. Prince, Ted says, respect to Liverpool. Klopp and Co. Full respect.
Yes,
A
big up
real
Liverpool.
heavy,
Where's my manners? Yes, you're
heavy,
absolutely
heavy,
right. You're
heavy,
right
heavy.
there, Mr. Stevens. Big up the Reds. I
Yeah,
did
man.
make a prediction on a friend of mine from Kenya asked me to come on his show, and I said, yeah, Liverpool to win it. So you guys
Oh,
have me to thank. It's nothing to do with your players. It was me that spoke it into existence. Okay,
into
Mr. Prince?
existence. It came
It's me.
true.
And if you want me to say who's going to win the league between you and Hot Chili, you guys be nice and I'll speak it into existence for you. Okay, guys? um, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. I hope that you have a fabulous week when it comes. If I don't see you between now and the rest of the week. Have a great week. And eventually, when the weekend comes, have a undercover Liverpool fan. I have a little soft spot for you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I
They're
want
bad
you guys to
boys.
do well.
They're fantastic. They're fantastic. Listen, we're
Yeah.
Arsenal fans through and through, but Klopp, I don't know many people. I've actually not come across someone who does not like Jurgen Klopp. The Liverpool team that he has on his hands and has helped fashion and molded, is one that we can applaud the world over. I say salute. I say respect. I know people
I
like
like
CC
them.
Sports Lab was crying as their team. I mean, people like Mason Mount, 6, is it 5 or 6 on the spin? Runners up at Wembley. You know, he's a young guy. He's got the world at his feet, and he's got years ahead of him. I'm sure he'll taste Wembley success at some point. But just to be there at Wembley in a final is an achievement in itself. So you know, the love of football, we got to give thanks. But Liverpool, they were on for a quadruple. It may be down in numbers, but Crystal, we're waiting with bated breath. Do you have the wood on this? Who's going to lift the Premier League title? I don't know. Especially after City's draw with West Ham. I just don't know what's going on. Mahrez missing.
Well, I can make it happen. I mean, I practically gave Liverpool the FA Cup. So if Hot Chili wants to win the league, he knows he has to be nice to me. If Prince wants to win the league, he has to be nice to me. If he wants to win the Champions League, he definitely has to be nice to me.
And get some people to hit the like and share subscribe button.
And
maybe.
I will speak it into existence. If I don't speak it into existence, it won't happen, guys. So it's in your best interest to be nice to me, and I'll make sure you get that trophy, okay, Prince and Hot Chili? You guys are saying a couple of the guys were crying yesterday. I didn't see that because I was so tired and spent some of my days sleeping yesterday. I saw the game, but I didn't see anyone crying. All right, Mr. Prince. All right. You see, so now I'm going to have to side with Hot Chili. Don't worry, Hot Chili. I'm going to speak something into existence for you, okay? I'm going to let Prince know that it's not all his manager, that he has to thank me as well, all right? Sometimes it's not about the person who scores the goal. It's about the person who string the pass together so you can score the goal. Right now, I feel like I'm playing in Hot Chili's park. Don't know about Mr. I'm playing in Hot Chili's park.
You've got them fighting for this inside line. They are looking to curry your favor, Crystal. You're not easy, you know. You're really not easy, you know, Crystal. Miss Davis, yeah.
Guys,
wonderful.
As I was saying, if you haven't had your Sunday dinner already, I'm not really sure why that is. Do enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you for tuning in to me and my lovely co-host, my panelists there, my special guest, Mr. Richard Stevens and Mr. Mikey Ballin as well. If I don't see you between now and Friday, have a fabulous week and eventually have a great weekend when it comes. If you're going out and about, do travel safely. An underrated blessing it is coming home safe and sound. So I do hope that you make it home safe and sound. Thank you again for tuning in to my live stream. Take care. Until next time.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Tallawah TV with Crystal Davis.